Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We start this morning with U.S. initial jobless claims from last week. You can see we were expecting 800,000. The number a little higher than that, 885,000. That's better than the prior week. But again, initial jobless claims for the week of December 12th. 800,000 expected, 885,000, the actual number there. Just noticing this housing start number above us, 1.53 million versus 1.54 million, so a little higher on that end as well. Good morning, welcome. We're looking at a number of different individual names this morning moving around in the pre-market. Roku shares higher. We'll talk about why coming up. We're going to talk about some Chinese IPOs that have come out over the past few days. Crazy moves right across the board on very, very small market cap stocks. We have still positivity as a whole coming off of more news yesterday that possible stimulus could be coming out of Washington before the December 25th deadline. It's Thursday, December 17th, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. Australia and Shanghai leading the way. Nice day for Hong Kong shares as well, 0.8% to the upside. Let's go over to Europe, see how things are shaping up so far throughout the European landscape. Yeah, more positivity here, top to bottom. Sweden, the only one lagging ever so slightly to the downside. Shift over one more time and we'll have a look at North America. Yeah, nicely positive once again. The S&P leading the way, 0.5%. Both the Dow and the NASDAQ up about 0.4%. The TSX futures here in Toronto, 0.4% as well. Yep, there's Bitcoin, 9% again today. We're going to talk about that coming up. Some blockchain stocks on the watch list this morning. Crude oil and gold also in positive territory. 1.5% move there, guys, for gold to start the day as well. They're buying Bitcoin. They're buying gold as well. Bitcoin, though. Sean, what was the high overnight again?
I just hit the arrow. Yeah, 23,806 overnight.
Impressive.
So, yeah, an impressive run. Needless to say here on BTC, I can show you the chart. I mean, it's just been quite an amazing, if the chart loads, quite an amazing run here overnight. There's that high, 23,806, made it approximately 4:18 or so a.m. there. We almost got away with the 4:20, but yeah, 23,806 back down to 23.2. But yeah, this is going to be a wild ride today. Get your cryptos out and ready to go because it is what it is at this point. Not going to be able to stop Bitcoin. I don't know where the breakout's going to be other than the high of the day, and then we'll just wait to see what happens here at this 22,000 level. But yeah, right now Bitcoin off to the races, Brendan.
It's simply a matter of time before eventually gets to 30,000. We were talking before the show. I mean, the money supply is booming. The Fed did nothing to stop that train yesterday. Stimulus came yesterday. It was basically a perfect storm for 20,000 break. And as you can see, the same move, because gold had reached its high from a few years ago as well, and tried to make a break, and it doesn't go as far because the tides are certainly changing. One last thing to get to, and I kind of wish I had thought about that's an odd pun there. I wish I had thought about this before, but a very weak IPO, and I sort of feel like there's a decent chance that some of the Bitcoin mania could be to blame for that because all eyes were on crypto yesterday. Maybe not the best day to come out with an IPO, and they're up 5%. We'll be talking about Wish a little bit later, but it had all kinds of weakness yesterday, so not really showing much strength, and not the first IPO to do that, run off the open, then come back down. We saw Airbnb do the same thing. So Wish on tap as well, Brennan.
Yeah, the other one that was a little bit under the radar yesterday ended up being a lot stronger. Upstart, the other UPST on the NASDAQ, ended the day quite a bit higher. So more in the software AI end of things, similar to C3 AI. So we'll have a look at Upstart Holdings. I think it started trading closer to 1 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. So more than one to deal with on the watch list so far this morning. Before we get into that, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria.
Good morning, Brandon, and hello, guys. I wish you all a great trading day. Please subscribe to this channel, share the link with friends, and destroy the like button. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. We'll start things off by having a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared yesterday with the top 10 traders list, as we do every single morning. Almost got to that six-figure club once again. 95,000 for the number one spot there. A lot of Canadian markets once again. We're seeing this trend. Canadian markets, some U.S. markets as well. More Canadian content here in number two. 40,000 NASDAQ, New York, OTC pink sheets as well. 22,000 number three, NASDAQ in New York again. Looking for Europe. There's Europe down there, number six today. 11,500. OTC only. OTC pink sheets there, 11,000 at number seven. So more great numbers for top 10 traders here at Day Trade the World. Lots to get through this morning, guys. We have, as I mentioned right off the top there, all these little teeny tiny Chinese IPOs that have come out over the past couple of sessions. We had that WNW, there was OCG, there's a few other ones, very small market cap stocks that have debuted over the past couple of days that had these just monster runs. WNW, the main one yesterday, just an absolute halt fest that we can have a look at to start things off this morning.
What goes up must come down, but not me, clown. Well, WNW does, actually. As you mentioned it, Brendan, it obviously was nuts. It was a halt fest. And then even after price stabilization in the afternoon, made an even larger move from $36 over $100. It just rolled over, I want to say in a big way, but 73 to 60 compared to yesterday is not much of anything. So a $13 move, you can certainly see in the pre-market. This has already started to come back on WNW. We don't have... we didn't have locates when I last checked, but certainly I'll be looking for locates on some of these. The entire group of stocks, and you can follow along on our watch list, certainly, whether it's going to be OCG, TKAT, EDTK. I mean, there was just a handful of them making moves, all led by WNW. So whichever one I have an opportunity to short, I'll be looking at the 72.50 level if I get a chance. The way this went up, you got to figure that maybe there's going to be still some hype buying into it if it does dip too far. After it came back yesterday, you did see it find a base and make a secondary move. There's a lot of eyes on these names, so if we get back down to like 40 or 50, you're probably not looking to short WNW in particular down there. There might be a second ramp, and if you got to play the squeeze, Sean, you just got to play the squeeze.
Yeah, and talk about playing a squeeze here. I'm going to call this up because there's no pre-market trading too much anyways. On Luckin Coffee today, like, hello. Today's the 17th. You want to talk about Chinese companies here. Luckin Coffee back from the dead, maybe? Doing nothing all yesterday, guys. 3-minute chart, just chilling, not doing anything. The daily not doing anything either. Here's the daily chart on Luckin Coffee. But look, that $6 mark right there back in October. Guess what's happening today, guys? This is Luckin Coffee right now. 550, 560. You probably see it come on my board a little bit. It's over on the OTC markets, but Brendan's going to come with a little bit of news. I thought it was some sort of a financing deal. We talked about that earlier, but when I looked at it, it wasn't making those moves, and I guess it's because the OTC market there not open. LKNCY, I believe, is the symbol. Let's just look what it looks like on our symbols. There it is. Yeah, it's going to open 540, 550, and nothing but high side right now on Luckin Coffee. That's the day chart. And this is what we're doing. So no trades yet, but you could see yesterday pretty stable, and then now today it looks like we're going to open up 550. So LKNCY on radar all of a sudden.
Yeah, so this was, what was it? Almost 7 o'clock last night was when this came out. The SEC, it was the settlement with the SEC. So they're going to pay a $180 million fine to settle the accounting fraud charges laid against them by the SEC. This is going back to before they were actually delisted and moved to the OTC market. So yeah, Luckin back in play today. Going to be interesting to have a look at that. We have Luis Barbado joining us once again from Spain. He's going to come in to tell us a little bit about what they are looking at. Day Trade the World office owner and operator. Good to see you once again, Luis. Tell us what you guys have in mind today as far as individual stocks are concerned and how your week's gone.
Hi, Brennan. Good morning there. Good afternoon here in Europe. Well, you talk a little bit about some names we're checking today. We're checking the blockchain, Mara and Riot mainly. Two stocks are moving up today, 20% on Mara and 9% on Riot. All the blockchain is going up. We like these two stocks. We can locate shorts. We can go short here on probably a short squeeze over 210, 220 for Mara and over $12 for Riot. So we're looking for volume and volatility on those two symbols on blockchain. We'll look as well the Chinese IPOs that you talk about, OCG and SCPS, but it's very low float and we cannot locate those ones. So we are a little bit aware yet of what's going to happen there. So we'll see on those two symbols. And we're checking RAD as well, RAD. It's moving up pretty sharp. It has gone from $10 to $20 on the last couple of weeks. We saw a pullback the last 3 days from 20 to 17, and today is breaking highs on 2050 is going up 20% as well. So that's another symbol we're gonna check.
Yeah, decent news this morning on Rite Aid earnings. They reported before the market opened, obviously this morning in the pre-market. Earnings were kind of in line with expectations. It was the full year 21 forecast that came in better than expected for RAD. So a good look there. You talked about blockchain names. Overstock, another one that kind of flies under the radar a little bit. They are an e-commerce platform, but they do work with blockchain as well. Any thoughts on Overstock this morning?
No, we haven't checked it yet. What's the ticker? Sorry.
OSTK.
OSTK. Oh yeah. I used to trade these stocks when I moved to 100, as I remember. Yeah, to 125 actually was a little bit overextended. We haven't checked today. You know, we like more the cheapest stocks like Riot and Mara. Below $10, we feel more comfortable for our strategy, which is we trade kind of big and fast movements. So we find more liquidity, and the tape reading, it's really an edge for us on the cheap symbols as Riot, Mara, or for example, we're checking today NXTD as well.
Yeah,
okay,
that's next.
It's $1, 115 today. Yeah.
Exactly. Next ID, another one that's kind of popped up here in the pre-market. Definitely a lot more volume, a lot more liquidity available for both RIOT and MARA. Crazy move for Bitcoin over the past couple of days. We'll bring in Neil and Sean here and discuss a few more symbols.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, Luis.
How you doing, Neil?
Doing fantastic. You mentioned some of the names that we're already looking at here. And I want to just quickly, you talked about both Mara. Maybe we'll start with that. We've all talked about the Bitcoin move. Your approach to trading, I know you guys do a lot of scalping, bigger size, so smaller moves, and it does rely on tape reading. So my question to you is, do you find a value in tracking the spot price of Bitcoin? Do you make sure that you're not on the wrong side of any kind of a big move, or are you just strictly all about the tape on Mara or Riot in particular? So what's your general approach there, if you don't mind?
We approach very much into tape reading. Of course, we are aware of what's going to happen, taking the whole picture of what's doing the blockchain, but we really believe we have an edge with the level 2 and the tape reading. So it is, of course, we trade with some bias on those stocks, okay? We try to avoid one side that we believe is the weak side, but we rely a lot on the tape reading to find out the timing and the volatility of the stocks, but mainly the timing. When do we have to jump in the trade? Because we trade big and we trade very fast. So this is very reliable for us to have the level 2 to give us the timing and the size, proper size that we have to jump in the stocks. Today, we believe it could be a short squeeze on those both tickers, but we are open to change bias if it's necessary and the tape reading tell us.
Yeah, they have that strong feel to it. That being said, I did make sure I have shares in case I want to go short Mara. You want to make sure you have those locates available. You mentioned one other one, and you'll hear us often say we don't like the idea of getting into big positions in the pre-market for liquidity concerns. But you mentioned Next ID here, and you're talking about a dollar stock, which is in 13 million shares pre-market. It was a runner yesterday, of course, and now moving again today. A bit of a retracement, actually, in the pre-market here. Is this something where you would be a little bit more active in the pre-market because of the volume and just, in the liquidity here you can see is very good, and it's very, very cheap as well, of course, being only $1. So is that something that you guys would be a little bit more active in going into the open as opposed to, touching some of those Chinese IPOs before 9:30 seems a little scary?
Yeah, it's a little bit scary when the level 2 is so tiny and those stocks. On NXTD, it's bigger. It's very thick, the level 2, so it gives you a lot of confidence to go big in the trade and to find some points where whatever it happens, you can go out no matter how big you are in the trade. Pre-market, we didn't trade it. Let's see if it holds here over 110, 1.5, holds over $1, and then it goes. We hope volume comes in again over 120, 130, and then we got a stock in play. That's what we like. We need to push over 120 to really find this name very interesting for us.
Yeah, I think I'm sort of with you though. I think it's a range-bound scalp trade in the lower end of this current range here because you have that dollar area as well. That's the only price I would add to that. Before I throw you to Sean here, who are the bodyguards behind you there?
Yeah, we got new students here, man. We have 5 guys new, so they wanted to be in YouTube Live, so there they are. I have some on the side, but they're more shy, so they're not going to join.
Well, welcome to the show, gentlemen. Best of luck. You're definitely in good hands with Lewis. Lewis, I'll throw you over to Sean.
Thank you, man.
Yo, what's up, Lewis? Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing there about those traders, and I want to say a shout out to them. And look, that's the thing. We talked about it last time. It's very important as an owner of an office and as a prop floor to keep, bringing in new traders, bringing in those fresh ideas. Based on that, and I know you have that spreadsheet, and I know you've gotten a lot of love for some of the recording of the trades that you guys do, and you're studying as a group. But when you come in every single morning, and we'll make this quick because we got to fly to go over the watch list, but when you guys come in every single morning, like what is maybe the first 1 or 2 things that you do to screen for stocks? Is it volume? Do you go back to stocks from yesterday? Do you read a little bit of news? Do you watch Trader TV Live? Like what is your sort of go-to over there in Barcelona for a early morning prep? Like what do you guys dig down to say, you know what, I like this. We talked about blockchain today, but what else is there that you guys look for in the pre-market?
Of course, we look at you guys, of course, and I'm going to say that we don't. We look at you, then second, we look what stock we traded yesterday. As I showed you the other day, the spreadsheet. So yesterday, I can share the screen here again. Yesterday, we trade some stocks that they're not very active today, but we made money on Veru, Riot, and Seox mainly yesterday. It was not an unbelievable day, although everyone was green in the room, but there were not very nice stocks to trade for our strategy yesterday. So we check these symbols of yesterday, and then we go to Twitter. We use a lot of Twitter here as information to find new stocks. So we follow traders, we follow companies, we follow news on Twitter to find new stocks. So mainly what we look for is volume and gapping up and down, volume with volatility, of course. That's the main point we're looking at here. Perfect.
I love all that studying. And hey, look, we know I follow each other on Twitter and on LinkedIn there. And congratulations. I mean, when that looks like your trading floor there has those kind of greens and not too many reds, very, very successful day for you guys and your floor. Lewis from Barcelona, I'll give you a shout. Did you want to make any shout outs here to anybody before we let you go?
No, just thank you for your work and see you next Thursday. I hope with even better watch list. Today is not the best watch list for us because we like a small cap world. It's not our best day here on the watch list. So let's hope next Thursday we have some beautiful names.
I think we will. Thank you, Lewis, and thank you to your new traders behind you. I just got to tell them they're in good hands with you because I know, but seriously, I know all the work you put into it. And we talk about it all the time on the show. You know, if you don't put in that work and you don't put in that time, then it's going to be irrelevant because trading is not easy. And you guys definitely make it look that way with all your preparation. So thank you, Lewis, and thank you to your floor in Barcelona. I'll throw it back to Brendan.
Thank you to you.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Lewis. Once again, Lewis will join us again next week. Touch on what they are looking at in the morning to start things off on a Thursday. Guys, if you haven't done so already, sign up for the watch list. We send it out to you every single morning before we come on at 8:30, and then we go over what to look at when we get to the open at 9:30. So let's jump into what is moving around so far this morning on the watch list. Roku going to be the first one here. Big mover both yesterday and again today. Finally getting that deal done with HBO Max, guys, to be available on Roku devices.
Well, if you want to watch Wonder Woman, then get your Roku device. No, I'm not selling Roku to you guys, but Obviously, long waited. It's not that it's necessarily a surprise, but they got the deal done finally. I mean, the daily chart's going to show you what you need to know. But this gap to the upside, I do remember looking at just a similar comparison. Baidu, we're thinking about 2 trades on Baidu that sort of worked out a little bit. One, you had this continuous run to the upside. You did have the gap up after a big rise already, and then there was an initial breakdown trade that worked before a recovery and then a breakout. So I kind of want to play. I kind of looking at this both ways. If I think it might do what Baidu did, and that would be you might have a shot at shorting 345 off of the open, maybe into this 340 range, or maybe even only a couple dollars. It would be like a scalp type trade. And then you're looking for the bounce. So, I'd be looking first at 340. If it goes deeper, I'm thinking 336. Those types of levels for a push back to the upside. And then if all else fails, maybe you just catch it on a 350 break as well. So there's lots of ways to attack this. In this particular case, I wouldn't want 350 before the open necessarily. Although the breakdown trade, I'm a little more open to that. It's certainly at 850. It's entirely too early to take those types of trades. You want them closer to the open. But I'm ready to take advantage of maybe a quick short and then look for a bit of a bounce in Roku the way that it's run to the upside. We've certainly seen it pull back hard before. I mean, you can see several examples of that on the way up here. So you don't want to miss out on what might be a decent dip buy in Roku.
Yeah, I mean, the HBO Max deal, I don't know why it's spiking this 6.3% because we did know that was being worked on. No reason for HBO to say no to that. I mean, I don't know, but it's nice to see that it is now integrated. I mean, look, 350 option level, expirations happening tomorrow. There is a major rebalance happening tomorrow. Roku's going to have to get added. I'm assuming we can check. We have a list of stocks being added and deleted, but I think Roku definitely probably under-owned, and I think that's part of this run up. I mean, I don't know if people believe Roku, but I mean, bouncing off this 50 period like it was nothing all the way up, man, like 220, 240. This break was unbelievable. I actually think, and we could probably look back, November 19th or so, this was probably the early HBO announcement, I think, somewhere around here, or it was right around here. But it's continued to go upside. They beat on their earnings report. They beat on future expectations. And I mean, look, I just talked about it the other day, where TCL has Roku built into their TVs, and TCL is crushing it in China. They're crushing it in Asia. They're selling them like out of stock in Best Buy, out of stock at Costco. And you know what? My dad just picked up TCL TV as well and loves the Roku platform on that. So, hey, look, I don't know how their revenue model works exactly, but they're getting a lot more subscribers and downloads into their platform. So, I mean, I like Roku. There's no way we get back to 326. Some of the levels Neil mentioned was fantastic. I mean, I'd love to get it at 340. We could put some dip buys down there. I called Snowflake the other day at 305 and didn't put an order. So we'll see if we can do that here for Roku, put one downside. But hey, look, man, a 350 break is all what I'm looking at here today. And I think we can get it. If you do get it, use 347.50 or so as your out. So you got to risk at least $2.50, which means you need to make that at least on a break.
All right, guys, just looking at a headline here for this Express Spa Group. This is a stock we've looked at many times on the show. XSPA on the NASDAQ just popping up. So they've signed a new deal with United Airlines, it looks like, for COVID-19 testing. If you remember, this is the company that did the initial deal with it was LaGuardia and JFK in New York. I think they ended up down in Philadelphia, I want to say, as well, in the airport there. To start some COVID-19 testing in the terminals. So now teaming up with UAL here for this XSPA, it looks like 30% on decent volume here.
Yeah, I remember that story. It was an interesting. It's an interesting idea for them. Certainly, we've seen this play out before. There we go. Finally loading up there, and it's been one of those stocks where this is going to tell you all you need to know about fading this news. It's basically been one of the harder falls to the downside every time it gets a spike, but it has had a couple of multi-day rallies. For me, it's basically coming right into what was a long chop zone if it gets above $2. So even a 2-even break, I'm a little bit skeptical of. So It's probably going to be on my list for things I'm looking to fade. It's a little bit early to be looking at specific levels anyways to the upside, but if it were to break like 225 or that 2 even area, I am looking at like 260 and like a $3 range. I'm probably going to be in SPA today at some point, but it's 8:55. It's entirely too early for a position here. I just think it's going to be a fade at some point because that's been the story almost every single time Express has gone to the upside on what is an ongoing story for them, certainly.
Okay, yeah, that's Express. We just saw XSPA there. We also see Palantir trying to go today as well. So we're going to watch Palantir through 2650. I like that stock. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to, as soon as we're ready to go, I'm going to ask Valeria how the likes are going. This is 2650 right now. I do notice that we have almost 4,000 people watching right now and just over 700 likes. So when we're ready, guys, there we go. Let's throw to Valeria right now. How are you doing, Valeria? How's your morning been? And I see also there's a Starbucks on your table there. Congratulations on switching back over.
Thank you, Sean. Morning is amazing. Just done my coffee. And we have 600 of likes. Guys, let's get 2,000 of likes before the market opens. Smash thumbs up right now. Back to you.
So, thank you, Valeria. So I mean, I see right here now we have 872. I mean, I did this before, but here's the balance locator. I mean, unless that gets to 1.5K, I don't really think there's a point in showing the imbalance locator, but we'll see. I've done that before. It's a cheap bribe just to watch this thing go. There's 1K. We'll be at 1.5 soon. Give it to us, Brendan.
All right, guys, let's have a look at upgrades and downgrades, some notable ones for the morning. We're talking about UAL with Express SPA Group there, but this is American on here this morning, up 0.5% so far. Eli Lilly, MGM, wins. So some more travel names coming on the upgrade side of things. Boeing this morning catching a downgrade. Price target cut. It was a minor one. That's why it's in positive territory, but worth noting. AT&T, this Magellan as well, down 1% also. But travel, guys, could be strong today.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be worth a look. I mean, obviously, we've been looking at Boeing the last little bit here. It's probably not gonna change too much. I want to quickly go back to the next ID. We just finished talking about this with Luis there, and thank you for Luis for coming on. I don't know if you're still tuning in here, but this 105. You talk about yesterday's high. One time, 2 times, the second time now we're testing it on the way back down. I think this is an interesting opportunity. If it can hold this level, you're probably looking at least one of those little 930 or into the open type of runs to test that 120 that I don't like shorting into. You've heard me say that a few extra times here. So I'm not in the short. If I was already in at 120, I'd certainly be taking some profit in front of 105. But because I'm flat, I got to start thinking about if we find a bit of a base here at 105, it could be a nice little scalp long going into that open with the anticipation that I'm probably getting out because I don't want to be too long this stock when it meets that 120 price, and just in case it does happen to fail. I would like to show you the level 2 here, guys. As much as I just mentioned that 105 bottom, there isn't actually a bid down there, not a lot of size, so nothing that would have me jump into it right now. But if I see something pick up or even at a buck, as I see nothing on the bid there either. If I see a bid step in, I wouldn't hesitate to try to scalp some 4 or 5 cent wins to the long side off both those levels on next ID.
The volume on some of these stocks already going absolutely insane. So sometimes, we're a week away from Christmas. The market can be slow, but remember, tomorrow, quadruple witching on a Friday with the Tesla. We do have the Tesla video. If that's ready, we can hit the coming up. I don't know if it's there yet, but coming up number 2. Okay, hit it. Actually, I'll hit it, Neil, because then it will go on me. Okay, coming up 2. We just released a video, and it's doing quite well over on our Market Wisdom page, I believe. Yeah, Market Wisdom channel. There it is. Check it out, guys. It's how to trade the Tesla rebalance. I think it's very foolish. If you at least don't watch it, there's been a lot of talk about it. It could be crazy. You could have a great opportunity. I think you could pick up like 10 or 15%, honestly, in the last couple minutes there. I do expect a pretty good drop there. By the way, I had no idea what you just said there, Robbie. I also want to show you balance locator. I'm just joking. I'm not going to bribe you guys. It doesn't really matter. We love everybody regardless. Here's Neo to the high side there. We talked about movie theaters. AMC buy. So Roku buy, AMC buy. CCL is up here as well. We'll talk about Palantir. We did send out a watch list. We'll talk about that. We're going through the names as we speak. Alibaba. But the thing to note here is NASDAQ up 0.5 right now. ES up 0.4. There's not many sells, man. You have that NVTA there, and you have some, I don't know, warrant or whatever that is. We'll figure about that, some trust. But other than that, everything's a bid. Even Salesforce down here a bit as well. XOM catching some love. Ford as well. So they're not huge right now, but leading the pack is always, as per normal, NEO at the top there, Brendan.
Okay, guys, we're going to get into the overall market, but I did have a question there from Rosalie talking about Green for Life. It's not a share offering on GFL. It looks like a warrant or a secured note offering, $750 million in secured notes that are going to be due 2028. So not an actual share offering there, if that's what you were referring to for GFL. Let's have a look at the overall market. We'll bring Arun in and check out what levels we need to be aware of for the futures this morning. Arun, it's the day after the Fed. What do we look at today?
You know, the day after the Fed, we're kind of wedged in here between a high volatile event tomorrow and what turned out to be somewhat of a mover yesterday. So here we are on a day like today. We have broken that 37.15 that I was keeping an eye on. But the thing I saw with this break is it's not a strong break, which makes me think that this level has slightly shifted a little bit. So I'm going to push that 37.15 to 37.20 now. I'm not going to be willing to take a long anywhere here just yet. If we can breach 37.20, then I can be confident enough that we have cleared this zone and then we can continue on. But I am going to mark off 37.20. And if we start to stall again, because we've been stalling pretty much since the European Open around this 15 area. So if we stall again, I'm open to taking a short in front of that 37.20 with the downside move, looking at 36.90 as a stop on the downside. The first stop on the downside is 36.90. So if we can get around 37.15 and stall out and kind of set up for a short, I'm going to go ahead and take it. 37.20 is going to be the stop. If we break 37.20, then you're open for the long with 36.90 as a stop. And of course, if you do fall down into the 3700 range, then you have 36.90 for potential longs if they set up. So on a day like today, you know, it could just be a matter of what are we going to do once we break either one of those ranges, the 37.20 or the 36.90, because we are sitting in a location where we could really extend to the upside, or we can just really fall off again and creating a double top, which kind of sets the outlook for tomorrow, really, with the massive levels being declared up around this 37.15-20 area and 36.90 on the bottom end. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this 37.20, see if we can get a short in front of that. If we can't, then I'll look for the long.
Oh, thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning with Arun before we get to the index change that he was talking about. Going to be a busy day tomorrow, both at the open and, of course, at the close. So lots to discuss tomorrow. Let's get back into what's moving around this morning, guys. Going to jump down to Luminar Technologies. We discussed Roku there. So Laser next. LAZR back on watch. Big move yesterday. They announced that deal with Mobileye. So they're going to supply their technology to Mobileye, which is developing autonomous driving vehicles. So LAZR also, guys, catching a Northland upgrade to a buy today.
Yeah, and an interesting setup for that long today on Laser. So if you track back to the 14th here, you look at the bottom, 25.80. I think we talked about this, yesterday in the morning as well. But a bit of a breakthrough point. I mean, a clear midpoint on the biggest down move of the last week, at least, that same 25.75, 25.80. And then you have pre-market and opening high range, same price, 25.75, 25.80. And then we have pre-market support down here at the low, 25.80 on a dime. You know, that's what that all breaks down to is I'm going to like the break here on Laser. I've tried the break on Laser before and it didn't work out. I would leave myself some room for a pullback into that price, maybe give myself a stop below that 80 mark, you know, allow it to break, maybe get, 20, 30 cents lower, just because it's not always the most liquid name. Pre-market's not bad here, 500,000 shares. Yeah, you do see some levels down 26 here, 26.15. So that's actually better than I expected. But there might be an opportunity to give it just a little bit more room past those stop levels. But I'm going to take the shot here that we can actually break back to the upside on this positive news. It is a decent gap, but I want to show you the higher time frame just so you can see how much room it has to run till at least even that 30 mark potentially. So I like this 25.80 level. If you only look at a 1 minute chart, you only see the pre-market low. Definitely, it's got a little more significance than that here.
I have a chart up here. I like that 28 level right here. So if we can get to there, I mean, it's a good news story. You're up that 5.75%. We could get back to 28. Again, when we cracked it here to the upside, ran to 30, and then when it broke it to the downside, it didn't even think about coming back. It went all the way to 22.50. So this is the thing. Like, there goes days where not much happens. So laser 2 days ago, monster move, like we just said, 30 down to 22. And then yesterday, nothing, like 24, 26, 23, 24, I guess that's the bottom, open 25. So you had about a $1.50 range yesterday. I don't really expect too much of a range here today. But again, if we get squeezed out of some of these short positions, then yeah, you could race up to 28 and change. It's pulling back right now. I don't know. Let's call a 1 minute chart up here. This may give Neil some of those buying opportunities, coming down to 25.80, just cracking 26 right now. And you can see that 549,000 shares. So I mean, yeah, if we can bid it up to 24.50, 24, somewhere around there, that's a good spot to get long on a drop back down. But 5%, not bad. What we're doing now, if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. tradertv.live. We're rocking and rolling. If you can't, hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit watchlist.tradertv.live. This list is completely free. Like you say, what are we doing with laser? Well, here it is. We bring it to you. When did I get this today? 8:11. So it comes pretty early. You got to wait for it if you didn't. We're working with our mail provider on that one. But here we go. Like Mobileye's talking about that. We're going to talk about Neo, Tilray's coming on here, Airbnb, some of these other names, Wish, PayPal, blockchain. So, if you find yourself in the dark a little bit, which traders do, definitely sign up for that. And it's always like a nice little warm hug in the morning. Like you get to see what everyone else is looking at and be part of our family. That's what we want you to do. So again, at least enjoy the watch list, share it with your friends, tell everybody it's free. And I think it's foolish not to do it. And thank you for some of the positive feedback there. We are working to get that email out to you early as possible. But Brendan, we can't do it too early because then we miss stories, right? So you saw when I got it 8:11. So I think that's a perfect time.
Yeah, a lot of stuff coming out even as we speak. So that's why you join us at 8:30, and we continue to update things as they progress. But absolutely, guys, sign up for the watch list. Absolutely free to you. Let's go to NEO next. NIO back on the list this morning. No real significant news here. It was a little bit stronger than the rest in the pre-market. We did have the offering that we were talking about at the end of last week got completed at the end of day yesterday. So that ADS offering done, over with. They are starting to fade this off a little bit from this gap, though, this morning.
Yeah,
what stock was that?
Just looking at Neo, and speaking of that fade, I did have written down for this name basically one number, and it's going to be it's 46 is the level. I know we're a little ways away from it here, but just sort of look at the last few sessions here. Look at this drop at 9:30. Look at that retest of 46. Sort of the next day, you rebound shy of that 46 number. You then get another drop. Again, and we're coming right up to that 46 level. So the fact that we didn't breach or to even test it tightly makes me initially think this could be a bit of a fade play. Yeah, I'll take a break at 46, certainly, and I'd probably wait for that or a deep dip to buy on NIO here. But my first look is I want to take a crack at shorting this one if I can. 45 even looks like a potential break. I don't like getting into NEO before the open. Don't have a very good track record of doing it, so these are going to be 9:30 type plays for me. So if we get a shot to break down at 45 and take a quick scalp trade, maybe into yesterday's close, I'll do that on NEO. If it already goes, throw that out the window. 46 is the level I'm watching heavily. I'd fade it before it breaks out, as long as there's any kind of consolidation up there.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make the same play that we've been just crushing the last couple of days, and that is to get long NEO on the early morning dumps. And I don't know if that's going to happen again, but we are going to wait for that. I think 44.50, like there's tons of support down there yesterday after market and on the move down. I mean, it just, look at them supporting this. I mean, this is 44.20, the ultimate bottom, but they definitely held this 44.50. Like, I don't think you can go wrong going long those levels. And the breakout level would be 45.50 to the high side. I put all of these on Twitter because everyone's asking for the notes. So you guys can go over there and look. But look in the bottom corner there. What do you see there? It's Palantir, and you see 26.50 with a couple stars. So we're going to hit Palantir. We like that one. That's more to come on that as we go. But let's just call up the imbalance locator real quick just to see. There's Palantir with a bid. I'll take 26.50 in the pre-market. but I won't take it heavy. Would much rather it open and we can play off real liquidity. But there's NEO continuing to grow on the bid side. Pretty small, man. Like, these are going to be in the millions, tens of millions of shares come locator time on tomorrow in the afternoon, and then tomorrow morning as well. Like, you guys want to see an imbalanced locator, join us tomorrow and we'll show you all about imbalanced locators in the morning. It should be absolutely insane with some of the rebalancing that happens early tomorrow.
Let's talk about Tilray next, guys. We mentioned it yesterday, the big deal with Afria merging with Afria. Afria going to own 62% of the company, Tilray the other portion. They did update this morning their European operations. They're going to shut down some facilities, kind of tighten up how things are working over in Europe. So not significant news, but there was a deal that was announced with Flower Incorporated, which is a grower that's going to give Flower Incorporated access to some warehouse space of Tilray's.
It's interesting. Tilray was the one that got away yesterday. Looked to fade, it never got into it. Now there were some good trades that probably took precedence, and it's never a bad thing. It did find a bid eventually at $9, $9.10 to be specific, and then here in the pre-market seems to be doing the same thing. So I'm going to be watching that 9.10 low. If it does break, I think I'll probably stay a little bit away from it. I mean, shorting breakdowns on deals, on positive news isn't necessarily my cup of tea. I'm more interested in maybe if we can catch a bounce there. And then I like that 10 yesterday. Certainly was good in the afternoon as well, shorting off of that level. So I'll stick with that. I'll stay away from the middle range on Tilray. I'll allow it to travel up into $10 before I have a look at it to the short side. But I think there is a shot, at least at that yesterday's low. So maybe throw out that 9.16 you see as a pre-market bottom and be more concerned with where we bottomed out in yesterday's action at 9.10. If you like 9 even, then you probably should be holding for a bigger move. You should think the long is going past that 9.60 range if you want to give it that much room. I'm going to use the tighter stop on Tilray because I'm not necessarily very bullish on it. My first look will be to buy off that 9.10 level as long as we get some kind of a base that holds into that open.
Yeah, I'm very bearish on everything cannabis right now, and I mean I hold stocks. It's not like I don't want these things to go up, but I mean that was a good deal. We didn't break above where we thought we would. We thought we needed to get at least above. I mean, maybe I can zoom in a little bit. I mean, look, why am I bearish? I don't know. It was just $85 back in March, but okay, that was a couple Marches ago. This is what we're talking about right here as I zoom in a little bit closer. We failed breaking these levels back from the June highs for Tilray, so that's a problem for me. I thought we had a chance to do that yesterday. It looked like we were going to do that. Neil talked about missed opportunity. I say, yeah, missed opportunity for sure. So now I look at this, like we gapped. We were trading 750 and probably going lower as that deal gets announced. So now you get pushed up to 1050 yesterday. Awesome shorting opportunity. Okay, we're into Palantir right now as well, breaking through 2650. But you know what? I just like a short. $9 was the top of that wick. Let's see what happens at 9. We'll go short through 9. I'm not gonna try the long, but I like the long there if you're gonna use 9 as a stop, like Neil was mentioning. But I'd just rather hit that short. Update on the position right now. We are in Palantir right now, and I said it would be pretty small. That's still the Tilray chart, okay? There's Palantir right now. A nice little ramp up. I mean, this was a great break at 25. Now we take the break at 50. And again, it's very, very light shares, guys. We're like probably about a quarter of what we really want. So we'll wait to see. We'll put another bid down here, 26 and change. But I do like Palantir for some upside. And watch out. Here's the daily chart on it. It's still stuck, but there could be some resistance about 27, 25 or so. That's been the high there. And then if we can get lucky enough to break, I mean, then I still think we can get to 30, but we'll wait on that one. But Palantir needs some upgrades before we get back to 30.
Let's go to IPO land next, guys. Airbnb, big move yesterday, kind of catching everyone off guard. It's been relatively weak since its debut last week, but 12% at one point yesterday to the upside. It did kind of fade off into the close, you can see, but up here we were up 12% and change on the day. Another 3.5% here. There's no real significant news, guys, but first real green day yesterday, looking to extend that today.
Well, I mean, there were so many people for days in a row, and we were all included, sort of talking about how weak these have all been, and Airbnb for sure. So if you have people shorting it every single day, you have the possibility of a squeeze to the upside. The interesting level, if we break out here, remember the open price, not the issue price. The open price was a 146. I think that's going to get interesting if we can get to that price. I'm very, very much liking this shot at 140 even. And if I can go to the minute chart quickly here, I'm also really interested in this higher low that got put in pre-market. And this is decent, sort of decent action and price action. So 140, then 141, and then trying to put in a higher low. You're testing the pre-market high right now at 143. I don't like that for a break. Breakouts specifically for me on C3 AI and then also one tried on Airbnb have not been successful. I find it's a little bit easier to play off of a pullback or even on a failed break. We'll let it come back in, be a little bit more picky about that price. So I'll be looking for, a 143 top break, 143.20. That comes back and gives me 142 so that I can use that 141, 140 as support on Airbnb. I think that gives you a shot to get to the opening of the first day, 146, which I expect to be a little bit of resistance if it can get there. If it breaks 140, I'm back on the short train in Airbnb. However, if that goes, we've seen how far it can come down. 125 was just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I got to go get the water. So we got to have some Hydration Nation action going on here. I tweeted out, we have it on our list, and Neil just mentioned it. We do like the 144 break there. Where is it there? Oh, that's a good one. You can see like that 144 there in the middle on Airbnb. So, and the reason why, Neil just went over it, so there's not much for me to talk about, but it was just the stock's birthday. We know about that. We've bounced around it. If we go back here, we can find out 144. Here it is just a couple days ago. It's this bottom back on December 11th that I was looking at, 144 right here, right where we came out at. We broke it to the downside. Once it did break, we stopped at about 142.70. So I kind of like a 144 level. That is the IPO. Isn't it the IPO price is 146, I believe. So we did have some action around 144. We're just going to wait to see what happens there. But I like a little 144 break. That's just what we're looking at right now. I think this is a good break too. This 142.50. That's just right where we're at. So if you did want to take a little bit of risk into Airbnb, I think you can go long now. It's just like, oh man, just watch out. Like VWAP is all the way up here. This is more of a true VWAP down here at 137. So if you do go long, you got to give it back to 147. I'm going to throw it back to Brendan, and I'm going to go get some Hydration Nation into me right now. So give me 1 minute.
All right, there was 2 IPOs yesterday, guys. We had Context Logic Incorporated, which is Wish.com, and then Upstart Holdings Incorporated as well was an IPO yesterday, also a smaller one. It was only about 250 million and change. However, there is an AI component to Upstart, which makes it a little more interesting as far as tradable, and it was a lot stronger at the end of the day than Wish, which just kind of opened and fell apart all day long. So we can have a look at Upstart and Context Logic here.
Yeah, I'll get to Wish in a second here because there was an interesting level. I think I threw in the chat a little bit earlier with a big iceberg order already trading in the pre-market as early as a half an hour ago. But like you said, Brennan, it's just so much stronger Upstart. But the troubling thing for me is you look at this high from yesterday, this double top at $30, and then on very, very light volume, holding, and then when it broke. Some light selling. So already some people saying, oh, 30 can't hold. I want to dump some shares. Retest. I want to dump some shares. Yeah, $30 is gonna stand out like a sore thumb here. And we've seen day 2, day 3, even on the relatively stronger names. C3 AI is an example. Eventually, it did find a bit of a pullback. That 30 is going to be my saving grace here in Upstart. It's only 73,000 shares, so it's not necessarily the most liquid. This is definitely a wait until it opens type of trade. For a $30 stock to have a 55 penny spread on that light volume, that is a no-fly zone in the pre-market for me. Hard no-fly zone. You're paying way too much to cross the spread to ensure your way out of the position. So even with 10 minutes to go, I don't necessarily like Upstart, but Wish. There was, and I want to show you this high here, this 2110 level. It's not that significant in yesterday's action, but it is basically the pre-market top. And there was a refresher, an iceberg order, whatever you want to call it, that sold at least, I'd say 60, 70,000 shares, maybe more than that, several times at that same price. So couldn't burst through. That's why Wish. 2110-ish, maybe give it a couple of extra pennies there because it doesn't even have a 1 cent spread either in the pre-market here. Maybe you give it to like that 15 mark for a stop or maybe to go long. but I'm definitely going to be taking the break of that 21.10 area on Wish. I'll probably take a shot at shorting in front of it because I like to take advantage of our direct market access, risk like 5 or 10 cents to see if it can't pull back in. But the breakout certainly would be on if that seller is gone in Wish.
Okay, I'm just setting up. I'm back. We're just setting up a little bit of a stop order here. I hate, again, this is still Airbnb. Come on, chart, let's switch. I hate getting into a lot of shares in the pre-market. That's why we only have about 25% of our position here on Palantir. I'm not worried about it, but it's just, I'm not going to let this 26 break, even though it's not a big, huge position. If this 26 breaks, we'll get out a little bit lower than that, but that's a key level to watch. Always watch those even dollar levels, especially, like I said, as you're approaching later on in the week and we do have quad witching, you got to watch out because, this open, I don't think today's open will be anything, as noted by the imbalance locator, which I'll call up one more time. Palantir's still here on a bid, so I'm not worried about it. It's just you got to watch out for the downside on some of these names, but we are long Palantir. Like, I'm out of the money 2 cents, and I'm acting like there's a problem. But yeah, we're still going to wait for the downside on that one. Wish, I heard you talk about that, Neil. And look, missed opportunities yesterday off the open, but I don't, for me, I've never shopped on Wish. Every time I go there, I'm not impressed with their user interface. I'm not impressed with the quality of goods there. Brendan has a story that he read about some guy buying a golf club on that website. And look, I'm not sure. I know they're an American company, but I don't really like this name. And as long as you were talking about going short, Neil, I'm with you because I like these levels. You could watch for a 20 level. But again, it's an IPO. I don't really like DoorDash's valuation either, and I keep losing on the short. So if you're in this one, just watch out. I think you can even go higher from a 21.10 break here, and that's Wish. But look, I'll probably stay away from it. So I think there's more fish to fry than Wish.
All right, a few minutes to go here, guys. Before we get to the open, let's talk PayPal. Trading higher, about 2% so far this morning. New York-based cryptocurrency firm Paxos announcing a Series C funding yesterday, which was $142 million Series C funding. PayPal Ventures, a part of that Series C funding. So we've talked in the past about their venture into the cryptocurrency world. This is another kind of foray, kind of funding this cryptocurrency firm. Paxos, guys.
Yesterday off the open, we were down here, Brendan. You remember, and I actually brought it to everyone's attention and was like, "Hey guys, PayPal's the play if you're not in crypto and you kind of want to play. It's not directly related to crypto, other than the fact that they offering it in their platform." Easy exchange of fiat and whatnot back and forth. So I like it. I don't know if we have it here in Canada. I use PayPal, but haven't opened the app in a while. I just pay with straight cash. But here we go, 224. That was a great trade yesterday. If you're still long it today, congratulations. You get another bump today on that news. And I just think it's clear sailing here for PayPal. We're already at all-time highs. It was my call for 2020 back at $108 pre-pandemic. And so, yeah, now we're just breaking out. We already broke out from this level, 220. So now it's upside, and there's nothing else above it other than clear sailing. So I like PayPal. I think you could take the break of 235.50. But again, if you're going to do the break of the high of the day, you got to watch out for the low, which is 234. So we'll take a 234.50 break, but it can't be a lot of shares again. I'd rather, we'll load it up if we can get back down to 231. I don't know. We'll see. PayPal, I like it.
Yeah, we're running a little bit short on time, and I know we covered this name with Luis, our guest this morning. Next ID, talk about that 120 level. I said maybe a shot to catch a base at 1 to 105. There wasn't a big bid down there pre-market, so I didn't go into the long. I just wanted to see if there was a bid there. Once it got close to that 120, different story. Started to round itself out at 115. There's now this on the offer here at 111. I grabbed 115s. I already scalped some out, and like I said, 5-10 cent winners are always going to be okay here. So I got bids trailing all the way into $1 for now. If it breaks $1, all bets are off. You're back in a penny stock territory, but the first level is that 120, maybe even to 125 to watch. Certainly, if it breaks through there, you're going to have to watch out for a top-end break. But for now, next ID coming in rather nicely on a bit of a pullback.
Guys, I want to make sure we get to these Chinese IPOs. I was just checking on Bitcoin. Still about 8.5%. We're flirting with this 23,000 level for Bitcoin. So it's holding these gains from overnight. You can see, 8.8% there, 23,000, almost on the nose. This is the dollar index, US dollar index. We'll talk about that later. It's falling on its face. Chinese IPOs going crazy the past couple of days. We had that WNW. There's OCG. There's EDTK. I mean, take your pick here, guys. What do we do with these today? Anything?
You down with OCG? No. Look, I wanted to fade these, Sean, but we actually, and Luis mentioned this, don't have locates of most of these names here. So if the only thing I can do is go long, I'm going to plead a ton of patience, especially with WNW. It needs to even get back to like 35 or 40 before I'd consider where it ramped up in the afternoon, or make some kind of a crazy secondary breakout where you're just talking about a pure short squeeze type play. So I wanted to be using this 70 level. It just made a bit of a pullback before fading into fresh lows again today. But because I cannot go short, I can't take a 55 break. I can't short 65 either in front of that 70 level. So it'll be only squeezes, and I'll wait for the open to see which way it plays out because I wanted to be going short here.
Yeah, I mean, all these plays are kind of like YOLO-y plays anyways. That's a good name if you can look at WNW there or whatever that was. I think that's a good one, but you know what? Look, there's Rite Aid today. We have PayPal. We have Palantir. We have Neo. We have a bunch of names. If you're going to look at Chinese names, why not check out Alibaba, actually, over here in the NYSE. That's another name starting to go. This is right where we're long. Like, we've had to absorb some of these hits. We talked about it at length. I hope you guys did some dip buying here in Alibaba. We talked about this. Get some longs around 250 if you're not in there. And then I do like a 235 area as well down here on Alibaba on its way back to VWAP. I think we get there before year end. So I do like Alibaba today with some of these Chinese names moving around. If you're going to trade in the Chinese space and you actually want to trade like real companies, then you got the Alibaba, Pinduoduo, maybe even JD, Baidu yesterday. But look, I like the space, but I like the EV space a little bit better with Neo.
We'll go to another one to have a look at in the pre-market here. Moving again today, this MDXG was a big mover yesterday in relation to some of these other recent IPOs going. So you can see on the daily chart, this one also a recent addition to the NASDAQ. So getting a bump yesterday from $6.50 up to almost $9. We've come all the way back to $7.80 this morning. Very little volume in the pre-market, but watch this $8.50 clear resistance in the afternoon yesterday. If we get a move into $8.50 like that one, then above that, $9 for MDXG, guys.
Definitely a good look. Thank you for the super chat. The DC. IPOB, is that the open door SPAC? I think, yeah, that certainly is. Obviously, it's not really doing much in the pre-market, so it's not necessarily something that was on my radar before, but it's going to be some obvious levels if you just sort of look at, there we go. If you just sort of look at yesterday's action, you have a very, very clear floodgate 26 level. That I want to call, that you can call out, and then the top end of this range, and it hasn't moved probably because this 2560 is similar. This is where it dropped off and had the flush, even getting through that 26 as well, 26 even on IPOB. So it'll be on the radar, but this is one where it's just going to have to open up for me to get too excited about. Like I said, tight range pre-market. It has some obvious areas of danger if it breaks through, and there's literally no liquidity to support any of them. So I'm going to hold off on those. I'll be holding off on taking any trades there. We only have a couple of minutes to go, and I just want to quickly go back to Airbnb if I can. This 142 level, if I can zoom in here, I mean, you're not going to see anything on level 2. You're just going to see a small amount of shares that have been holding at 142. Obviously, I said I wanted it to break up and maybe give me a dip in 142 to go long. Oh, there you go. Wow, it actually just happened. And Wish broke through 2110. So, like I said, I'll take that one if it's a break. It could be a bit of a floodgate. It could be a bit of a squeeze play. I don't love it, but squeezes are squeezes. And there was an iceberg seller at 2110, and they look like they just got broken. In terms of Airbnb, I'm looking for a pullback into this 142 at the open if I can get it.
Okay, so quick, guys. Neo, 45.50, good look there. Let's take some long if it hits. The imbalance locator quickly for you guys as we panic here because we're getting close. Palantir, I just said watch out for Palantir. We're nicely now 10 cents in the money on PLTR, but 45.50 break. We're also trying to bid down here if we get lucky enough on Neo. Palantir is 58 right now, so that's where it's been printing, 57s, 58s. It did print some 60s there, 59s, I believe. But again, watch out, man. The imbalance locator working. It's magic. We're going to see where that goes. Hopefully, we don't get stopped out of that one. And then here's Roku again. This is a 3-minute chart, but I still like the break of 350, but I like 47.50 as well. It's just that's going to happen like right now. So you got to get ready for a little bit of a love through 47.50, then 350, guys.
I'm going to go with already doing a bit of a backflip here. Look, it's nothing. Look, I'm a Pinterest guy, and I think Wish is like a bad knockoff initially of them and not necessarily the best in the world, but a squeeze to squeeze. There was an iceberg at 21.10. It broke. You're going to see outs here at 31, another out here in front of 21.50, where the first real liquidity started to show up on the level 2. If it breaks through there, I'm trying to hold the rest. 21 stop because I'm not letting this one go very far against me. So I'm literally giving it back to 21 even, which isn't a ton of risk. This market is about to open. It is Thursday. Quad witching tomorrow, but lots to trade today. Miss V is on that bell, so let's get this party started. Already looking pretty good. 5, 4, 3. In the Pew Pew Capital outfit there. Looking good, Valeria. Immediately through 21.50 and then slamming back down. What a rejection that was on Wish. So it broke 21.50 and then quickly rejects my stop, thankfully, at 21 even. So I didn't get stopped out when that came right back in so heavily.
Okay, good. So we just did take a little bit of luck in there at 31. It's not doing anything right now and not moving at all. This is luck and coffee, so we'll just watch that. We're long at 31, just thinking that, we could play some momentum to the high side, but not happening. Okay, Palantir opens up. I don't think it's even open yet. No, it's not. I don't see any end. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it's open now, so we can watch out for Palantir. We'll watch out for some Bitcoin trades as well. We'll try to make some money off that, but Palantir 26.80. We're going to try to go long off that. 26.80 on Palantir, guys. That's going to be my long look on that name. And then Roku, we're waiting for that to come through as well. And that looks like it's fading back to the downside. So here comes Roku back down, guys.
Yeah, and just going to go back to that NXTD. Still trying to burst through a 21.50 on Wish, but not XPSA. I want NXTD here. It did make another test at that 120, but I wanted to level off, and I was just about to say, it was starting to turn around. I was going to see if I could pick some up off that 120 level, but I don't like selling right into that crazy open, but it does look like it's trying to come back in. So if I can get 115 to 118 as an extra price, I'll definitely go with that. Airbnb is on the break.
Airbnb long.
So it just broke that 144. No pullback in store there, so only the breakout trade for you.
Okay, guys, we have Roku long, 47.70. Bang! A nice little win right there. Hot dogs, everybody bang it out for a nice little Roku long, 347.50 long, and bang on that one. Airbnb, 144 even. We're in the money $1 on Airbnb. We're in the money $1 on Roku. We're in the money 15 cents on Luck and Coffee. So let's just keep on going. Got to watch Palantir, guys.
Brendan.
Early mover as well, guys. Fisker up again today, 2.5%. They've finalized the deal with Magna International here in this company, or in this country, I should say, to produce the Ocean SUV. So Fisker and Magna making it official. They're targeting the summer for a first prototype.
Okay, Magna, good look there. We'll check that out. Airbnb, so Roku, we get out there for the smooth $1.50. Now we'll wait to see what happens long side now. We still have the trade on. We got it at 2/3 there as we had too many positions, so we had to watch those. So watch out. We lose on Bitcoin there. We go long and then take a bath. It does go up in the money for us, and then we just lost not a lot, but we did lose on that one. There's our Luck and Coffee. I talked about that one. I tweeted that one out early. Like 531, guys. It's at 550. So right there, big win on Luck and Coffee. Look at the market going ham right now. Roku back upside. Big trades happening everywhere now, guys.
Yeah, and Roku up to that 350 level. You know how it works, of course. I wanted to dip by, but I'm taking a 350 break. We already mentioned it. But I'm going to play off of that to the short first. I got 48 as my price. I'll work this one down to probably that 45 area, but if I'm going to be bullish on it, it means got to take profit in front of some of those lows. VWAP is right here right now, so if I can take a quick buck on it, I will most certainly do that. I'll get you guys back into that wish in a second, but it immediately tests right back down. 2150, just a wall of a level there, and it broke through once and it's slamming back to the downside. So make sure you have a tight stop there if you are going long. At some point, I'm going to be short that name, just not yet.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, I don't like Wish very much at all, but we'll wait to see on that one. And again, it's just the momentum, right? I mean, that's really the play that Neil's talking about right there. Okay, Palantir, we have 100. Sorry, it just come back down. I was gonna say $100, but back down to $26 right now. I was looking at Roku there. We'll have to watch out. 26 trying to get faded. We did talk about our out. It's going to be to the downside right now. So we did take more shares there at 26.11. So let's watch out for Palantir. Our average price right now, good one, not good one, but 31's average price now. In at 50, same position there as we took right there. So let's just keep on going to the upside. Roku, here we go, guys. Bang! Monster winner on Roku. $4 in the money on Roku right now. Look at that out. 352. That's what we're talking about. You guys want the winners. There we go. A big one on Roku, guys. That was a monster win. We just took some out on the upside. Good out there at 52. Let's see if we can, 52s? Wow. Let's see if we can go. Wow, thank you, Valeria. I wasn't even expecting that. Here we go, Roku. Here we go. Let's see if we go more upside on this one, Neil.
Yeah, and I want it to be both ways. I mean, look at this. This is called the nick of time. I talked about VWAP down here in Roku. Just was able to get 47s and 46, 75, but I did take that 350 break. So I did get long at 350. I was able to buy the dip there to get my price to 349 even or so. But yeah, I did reverse into the long, and I wish maybe I'd waited for the pullback. But Roku now making a secondary run. That's why I like to dip by current high 352. There's no targets up here. I think that's going to be obviously clear. We'll just work this one and see how far it goes. I'm not putting trailing stops in because you know how poorly I do there. But just got my 50s out for about a buck. I'll ride the 349s and we'll see how far it goes. This Wish, on the other hand, NXTD, on the other hand, went the other way. There was a break of 120. I got reversed accidentally into the long position, so I meant to short into it, but left my stop. Roku, of course, was going nuts, which we were taking advantage of, and I had to play, and it continues to run now. But when you get something you don't want, you get out of it, even if you're paying more than you expected. So don't want winners to turn into losers, guys. But NIO to the upside?
Yeah, Neo, new position right here for Neo, just into that one right here at 52. Out some 55s where it's at right now. Let's see if we can get higher at 60 level or so on that one, guys. But that's Neo, new position alert on that one. What's up, Bren?
Look at, guys, Zscaler here. ZS up almost 4% so far this morning. If we could grab my chart, there we go. Almost 4% here for Zscaler. This is all-time highs. Not seeing much in the way of news for this, but we broke above that last little pivot there. 190 for ZS, guys.
Oh, and there goes that. Oh, Wish, are you kidding me? Yeah, so there's Wish. Right up to 2175. I actually got out a little bit too early here. I still have a little bit left, but watch out for Roku, which, my level 2 is the wrong stock. But Roku trying to hold this 344 level. That slammed back rather quickly. I mean, the scalp of a buck on the breakout trade, probably going to be a bit of saving grace, but I still have half the position on. It's trying to hold the opening range bottom, and you got to give it, look, if you think the 350 break is taking to 360, 370, that's fine. But I'm not letting it go past the pre-market low. That's a little bit crazy to me. If it settles down, I'll try to pick some up in front of that 345, and ultimately, if it breaks the low of the day, you just got to get out of it.
Yeah, and we're lucky enough here to get some Palantir love back now. So out there, 38. We're going to try to get out some 40s. We're long now. I told you my average price was 31. Average price getting better now. Palantir long 29s as we just cashed some. Oh, I didn't get hit. How did I not get hit 40 there? Okay. We're sitting at 40. I thought we just got out, but we didn't. So we'll wait on that 40. Like, how did it go to 42? We didn't get out. But that doesn't matter. We still have more high side to come on that name. And look at Airbnb, guys. 144 in. Out some 145s. Now we're up to 146. Airbnb, $1.50 in the money. I just realized for some reason I have 6 shares of Roku. So I don't know what happened there. We will get out of this Roku position. I don't know. We have 6 shares, so I don't know how that happened. But Neo coming back to the downside. We did cash a little bit out. This is not a huge position. We're waiting for 46 to break. But I do want to hold Neo back until, oh my God, it went to 44.63. I was bidding 44.50. If you hit the rewind, you'll understand that. And there goes Palantir as well. More backflips, guys. We talked about the reload down here at 26. Now let's go to the upside here, 50. 30 pennies in the money right, or 21 pennies in the money right now on Palantir.
And there goes Wish is actually consolidating and looking like it wants to go higher even. So a bit of a surprise, but you talk about the breakout trade. It does hold 21 almost on a dime. Here's 21.10, and twice it tested it. So I haven't been stopped out of the last little bit just yet, but I am going to cover this trade pretty soon. And this is a bit I want to show you. Someone just messing around with 100,000 shares at 21.40. I don't know if I believe that order or not, but it's stuck around even when it's on level 1. If it breaks, I'm likely to manually get out of this trade and just take what we have here. Of course, I had to pay up to 21.20 here on that 21 even break, sorry, 21.10 break. So if I can lock in 20 cents worth of profit on the last little bit, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not that bullish on the stock. And there goes that 40 level. So I'm out in front of VWAP. I'm going to look for a short at some point on Wish, but finally out of the long.
Yeah, I mean, this is these markets today is nuts. And if you guys are watching them with us, you know exactly what we're talking about. Remember, we do have the rebalance tomorrow. What's up, Bren?
It's Chewy all-time highs here this morning.
Yeah.
Just broke $99 for Chewy, 96 to 99. Not seeing much other than a couple of upgrades and price target increases here for Chewy off to the races.
Yeah, okay. We love Chewy. I'm long $30. So that's nice to see that at 99 right there for Chewy. Look at Palantir still, man. 44, 45 going to the upside right now is Palantir. So we're watching that one closely. Not like a hawk because we're out already. We have 70% left of our trade. I still think we could break upside right now. It's not a huge position. Wish we had a little bit more on that one. NEO down 10 cents. It does come back to these 55 levels. I'm waiting for this to break. It doesn't look like it's going to. So we do have NEO on board there. And then this Airbnb, man, we're long right here, 144. We told you that we would try to get some revenge on Airbnb here, and we do. So a nice little move upside, 146.50. I mean, this is not a bad spot to get out, but I just wonder if this just continues to run. But we will get out on a 145.80 breaker. So what up, B?
One at all-time highs this morning. Plug Power, 4.75%. Just ripped through 29 there off the open on decent volume. No news that I can see yet, but Plug Power running as well.
Going to get back into that NXTD here. Of course, at a price I like a little bit better. I wanted 117, 118. I mean, 115 would have been acceptable. Still playing with the 120 to 125 area. Roku's about to test the lows here, so the dip was a little bit deeper than I anticipated. I still think if we're going to break through the upside, if it breaks 350, I'll start taking some off, but 342 is the absolute stop. And if we get to the high side, 360 remains a target. This order just stepped in here on 117, so I was going to wait for 18s and 19s. I might not do that. You might see me try to get in at 16 because big bid, big offer. So there's going to be liquidity at that 116, which means I can add and pay to trade. So I'm not going to hit the bid here, guys, when it ticks down. I'm just going to go offer side.
Yeah, I'm watching NEO here. It looks like it will probably wind up breaking some of these levels here. So 45 and change could get broken. We're just taking some off right now. Too much risk. We don't need to have tons of risk on here, and that is NEO. We already have the winners going, guys. We have Palantir now 43 cents in the money. Watch out for 26.80. I like a 26.80 break. We're long right now, Palantir, guys. 22, what are we long? 26.11. So let's go, Palantir. Bid, nice long off the open. Here we go, Palantir. Let's get some out if we can. 67s. Boom! It's hot dogs for everybody today. Let's just keep on going to the high side now. Palantir ripping people's faces off. 26.67, 26.80 next stop. This is a big win for me. 50 plus cents. $3 on Airbnb. Keep going, guys. Good day.
There goes, I'm not going to finish that. There goes Airbnb, not Rad. There goes Roku through the downside. So it breaks that 42. If you're trying to make 10, you're going to lose 5 sometimes. Did make some on the short. Actually did better on the short, which is interesting. Obviously came in with a bit of a bullish look there, but the short working out better on Roku. Wish I had held it. Right Aid, guys, breaking outside. So I had a quick little short in the pre-market and then a second one here that we took the hit on. But I'm looking at this 22 level. I wanted to be fading the stock. I still kind of like the idea of doing so. If it cannot break through 22, I'll take a shot at going to the south side here. Just earnings with Rite Aid blowing it out with their guidance there. Brennan, what's up?
Okay, so first of these recent additions to pop up here on a volume scanner, VVOS, 42%. It's already been halted downside once, but we're back higher now, 44% for VVOS, guys.
Okay,
W and W.
Yeah, sorry. We'll look at that in a minute. I just want to talk about NEO here. It's falling down. This is going to be my only loser on the day so far. But yeah, this just keeps on dropping to the downside here. NEO, 45 and change. Where did we resist off the open? Not much, man. Looking back at yesterday, I don't know. It was up a couple percentage points. The bottom, 44.70. I'm just going to, because I'm pretty light now, I'm going to wait. I mean, if we lose at the very bottom here, 44.70, we will take that as a hit and just move on. Look to get longer in there somewhere. But Palantir, guys, still rocking, man. 26.70 now. Look where we're long. 26.10 plus this 26.50, average price 30, and we're just cleaning up right now on Palantir. Let's get some more out. What up, Beep?
Guys, going again, we had that decent move for Twitter yesterday, if you remember. We had the gap to the upside held higher as well. We're just through 55 here. JP Morgan upgrading Twitter today.
Yeah, no locates on this WNW here, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I guess fortunately, because you can only be going long in this, and this is insane. Multiple halts to the upside. This last one right at the pre-market top at 90. These are all volatility halts. I don't know where this thing is going to stop here, but like I said, we can only go long. I want to take a shot at this short. The second it actually, and if we have locates, is what I'm going to do. If we actually get any kind of a halt, then it opens to the downside or holds the previous halt level. That's what I'll be looking for an entry point. Clearly, we have to have the locates to have it. Here's the high of the day, 103, which is a decent shot. It's only 12 bucks away to be tested upon reopen. Right Aid is at that $22 level. So if I see any kind of a size or resistance that I can use, I'm going to quickly jump into that one. Looks like they're trying to break out off those earnings we mentioned.
Yeah. There goes Palantir. Nice little break there as well. So we're going to watch Palantir go now, hopefully breaking through 80. And here we go, guys. Let's take some off. I mean, we still are pretty good on this stock, but let's see if it does want to make that break to the high side. Here we go, Palantir. There it is. Sorry, wrong stock. Boom, upside 90, 95s. Yes, we did it again on this stock, guys. It's hot dogs for everybody. Palantir. I mean, you want to talk about a trade. This is the list. This is the money list right here, guys. Come on, here we go. Palantir, 26.50 at the bottom. There's all those marks. Let's go. We gave you Airbnb. Lots of winners today. Let's go, Palantir. 27 unchanged. Keeps on ripping to the high side. Airbnb, $1.50 in the money. NEO just comes out as that's dropping down. Bad trade on NEO, but Palantir, who cares? We are loaded up on Palantir. Let's go.
And here, I'm starting to get my position. Actually, almost everything in front of 22 on that Right Aid, guys. But I'm going to be glued to this level 2 of WNW, of course, because it's going to open up, and I want to take some action on it. Just to get over to, Sean's already talked about Airbnb, but I want to go back to Roku. Of course, it took out the bottom. It's actually giving a bit of consolidation off of this 340 even level, which, look, if it's going to wick me out here and show me that 340, I talked about 340 and 336 for dip buys. Yeah, got to put your money where your mouth is for me, and certainly it's in that price range. So I'm going to grab a quick long. It's consolidating here for a while. I said there could be a dip on Roku. I know we had some other trades, a good short, a bad long. I'm going back into the long side of this trade here, guys. Right Aid did break that 22. We're short in the 90s, so one of those quick little scalp ideas in front of an even level, but back into Roku for the first time, guys.
So I'm light on Palantir now, guys. You have to understand, I see some questions about target on Palantir. This is how I trade, man. We just cashed out pretty much all of it up here. Pretty much all of it. I have 20% left, but right here, man, I trade around even dollars. You guys know that. This is why we defend that level. This is why we go long at 50. This is why we start dumping some at 70, 75 there. Again, we take this long at 80. Good break to the upside. My target was 27, and that's just where it stopped. The day's range, we talked about having some problems at 27. 30, 27, 20 or so, some problems. So if you still like this to the upside, which I do, I'm still holding, then I like this 27.20 level. If you need something as a target, that's where I'd be looking. Palantir, 27.20. But I mean, look at Airbnb, goes all the way up. We just cashed out there on a move down, breakthrough view up. We were trying to hold out for the big home run. We did have a $3 winner at one point, but we'll cash it out there for $1. We'll cash it out again there for 75 cents. And then, obviously wishing that we had held that one, but look, we can't violate our own rules. So there it is, Airbnb, nice little win there. Really happy, finally made some money on that. Here here goes Neil back to the upside. This is a risk I'm willing to take. Just breaks VWAP. It goes all the way to the downside there. We get out, but roaring back now is Neo. We just took some decent shares. The largest position I had on Neo is right now. Let's go.
And right back to basics. If you take a hit, you move on. Actually, go right to the original plan. And the first thing that I looked at on Roku wasn't necessarily the break. It was that dip, 336, 340 with the two levels. The second it bounces off of 340 and gives consolidation, that's a long signal. I take it. I'm always going to get some out in front of VWAP on that play, so quickly take the $2 scalp and then see how far we can go. It's a little more than $2, like $2.50 there if we're splitting hairs. If we get above VWAP, I'd like to anticipate resistance back in that 48, 49 range in front of the 50. If 50 was a good breakout before, it's worth looking at again. I did have one of those situations in NXTD where I shorted, it makes the break, makes that little parabolic move, and then I'm looking to get right back into it, guys. So the high of the day, 135. Now I'm playing off of this level, that 135 level on NXTD. I don't want to get too far away from it. It was good in the pre-market. Got out of this one maybe a little bit early the first time. The second time, I'm trying not to make the same mistake. It's only a couple of cents in the money, so nothing crazy yet. We didn't talk, and I don't know, I know it was on the watch list, but I think we forgot to mention or didn't get down to Novavax. It just broke out, so a bit of a missed opportunity here. You can't cover them all, but it just made a bit of a break of its pre-market high, 127. It's on the run, but watch the daily chart here at 131.60. Definitely expecting, there's been like multi-day resistance around that price, 131.50 to maybe 132. So watch out for Novavax. If it gets there, probably going to be at least a shot at a short. Brendan?
Another one to look at, guys. Jabal electronic equipment maker JBL, all-time highs this morning after positive earnings for them. They increased their upcoming full-year forecast as well through 45 there this morning on huge volume. 10% for JBL, all-time highs today.
I see people asking us, are our calls puts or calls, or what are we doing? We're trading the equity, guys. So, I mean, we're trading stock right now, not options. So we have direct market access. There we go. This is why we're getting out, man. We took another piece out there at 94 there on that move back up. So watch out. Here we go, back down to 24.70 here. Palantir can do this. Watch out for VWAP. We'll dump the rest if it breaks back down below 26.50. This is just what it does. So you definitely got to watch out there for Palantir on the downside. But it's still fine. We're long right here, so there's no problem. But 26.50 is going to be the out for us on Palantir. Like Bitcoin, we talked about trading that. It's just tanking right here. I don't know if people are caught, but I lost a little bit of money on that, so we'll wait for that. Luck and Coffee, I did tweet this out. We hammered this one for a nice little long. Haven't been back in it, so those are those stocks. They're OTC. I don't know if you guys can trade those. And then there goes Airbnb. We get out on a VWAP break. Mistake, because look where we're at now. Right back to day's high, Neil. Sometimes you got to hit those.
Yeah, I mean, the Palantir is an absolute home run. I mean, obviously, look, Bitcoin makes a move like that. It's not that it isn't eventually going to go to like something like a 30,000, but it doesn't have to happen in one day. Mara is making a series of lower highs, bouncing off of VWAP. It just keeps failing over and over again. And at some point, it's got to be a play for me. And that point is essentially right here. So I'm going to take my shot right around the 74, 75 range, is anticipating what's already happened 3 times since the open to slide into a short. Brendan, what's up?
A couple of those little ones back open again. This VVOS, 60% now, just about to break 11 to the upside. Look at WNW, guys. Took out that high and immediately ran $5. It has anywhere from a $2 to $3 spread given any given time. So tread lightly, to say the least, on these ones, guys.
I just want to be able to have the
Captain.
I want the option. Just let me short it. I don't know. Like, obviously, it's crazy. And you're picking your spots here, but it showed its first sign of weakness, and it wasn't much. It's still screaming to the upside. I'm still looking for a halt down. If I had to locate, that's when I would take a shot at it. Roku bounced back, and I looked to reload in front of 340, but never got close enough to my entry price to give me a secondary push in. NXTD, I do want to update this one because there was a monster buyer at 120 that got broken. I'm thinking, oh, that's smooth sailing, but it bounced off VWAP anyway. So my idea is just essentially, if it bounces back up into that pre-market high, I'll fade that into that pre-market high and then continue to take profits in front of VWAP, because that's clearly somebody picking up some shares at that level that you don't want to ignore.
Yeah, and there goes Palantir, obviously to the downside as well. So we did talk about that, but there goes NEO. We did get some out at 40 there. The market trying to make some moves, so you got to watch out for the market exactly, and we'll see what that wants to do here. But right now, Bitcoin continues to move to the downside here. If you're trading that GBTC, that's a downside move right here. And yeah, it just continues to go. Here it goes, GBTC. We're caught long again. This has been a very, very slippery slope here today. Just be very, very careful is all I can say if you're trading Bitcoin right here, guys.
Yeah, and Laser making, I always have to say it that way, I don't know why, but making its first test at that 2580 level. So the volume's it's been rather solid, but it just has been very, very sort of choppy, and I didn't like necessarily the pre-market break. I was looking for the first test of that 2580. The first one, I was a little bit distracted, so missed that little bounce. It broke through. What I need to see now is for it to hold above that price, then I'll jump into it for the first time here, and then probably use low of the day as a stop, or 2550, whichever one makes sense at that time. I don't know when it's going to break back above 2580 and find some consolidation, so I can't say which stop it'll be, but when I get in, I'll let you guys know. Roku has to break 345 for me to get on the north side of it. So this is 342 long. I did scalp 250 out of it because I was risking about a couple of bucks plus slippage, but now you're looking for a much bigger trade. WNW, it just was holding below 100, and now it's right back at 106. That stock's insane, Brendan.
Our recent high flyer here as well, BCDA, Biocardia. We were talking about it past couple of days. They actually released more data this morning on a heart failure treatment they're working on. Wasn't the greatest, to say the least. So down 13%, as I mentioned. Already halted once on the downside here. We're trying to get back above 5. But if you remember 2-3 days ago, this thing had a big move to the upside, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of to the upside, I'm going to assume OCG here, which is on its second halt, is probably going to make a similar test to WNW. If WNW is still making highs, I kind of feel like OCG is going to make a run at its top, this 2450. If there's a reasonable entry into this to the long side to try to run it to the upside here, just on a squeeze play, I'll take a shot, but trading these is completely insane sometimes, and you don't want to get caught in a halt. If I can get in rather safely with like a previous halt levels and out 2050, I'll take a shot at it, but I don't want to pay up to 23 or 24 long. I got to be able to get this at like 2150 or 22 to make it worthwhile, guys.
Yeah, I see some people talking about what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm just talking about GBTC here. I've made a lot of executions, but it hasn't been working out. And it's not that it's not going well. Bitcoin's fine. Bitcoin's 23,000, but this is grayscale, so you got to watch out for them and see what they're doing. But Palantir comes right back to the high side. I think this is definitely a spot where maybe we should think about getting some more out so we don't have to absorb any kind of a hit back to the downside. So there we go. We'll take out some 86s right there on Bitcoin. Not lucky enough, though, to get out of the best of NEO. We get some 35s there. Actually, that was pretty good. It goes all the way to 45.50. I'm still looking to go longer if we can break this, but that's 45.60 still to go. So we're waiting on that one. But other than that, man, Rite Aid today, Neil, making moves to the high side off of a great, earnings report there.
Honestly, I could be down a heck of a lot more than the 53 pennies I am on that one if I was.
Oh, are you? Oh, you're down on that one?
But I'm sick to my stomach. And I wasted the sheet on the wrong stock because Mara, I mean, come on. Like I was just saying, hey, look, it's going to VWAP. It's going to fail again. I tried shorting 76. I tried shorting 73. Just too slow on the keys there, I guess. Either way, right back down to its low, this 950. It's holding the bottom at least, so 940 to 950, while making lower highs. So it is forming a bit of a wedge, which could give you breakdown or break up. I'm not guessing at which one. I'll play the VWAP. I guess retracement fade. I don't know if that's a thing, but it is now. As long as it happens, but hopefully at some point you're going to catch a bit of a break to the downside. If there's a really big dip, that's where I'd be looking to potentially pick this one up for a buy. Or, like we said, squeezes are a thing, and we'll look for those to happen. Jumping back to Laser, it is trying valiantly to get back above that level. I like that 2580. There is consolidation. It's just not near the top. I want it to break through and hold above 80, not necessarily hold below, guys. So as quickly as these open up, they halt again. So that's why I don't want to necessarily miss OCG. I just want to make sure WNW, which is currently halted at its high, is still going upside. I wouldn't want that screaming down while even contemplating a long in something like OCG. That would be crazy.
Yeah, Microsoft, we actually looked at a 220 level today, and it actually does break. Yesterday, we crushed Microsoft. So I think we talked about it with Lewis earlier, that you have to sort of go back to what you do best. And like yesterday, Microsoft was absolutely fantastic on some of these breaks. Where was it yesterday? It was early, wasn't it? Was it about here, 2:15 or so? Or it might actually, I think it was this break here. Yeah, it was 2:16.50. So we had to wait till about 10:14, which coincidentally that time's coming up. So we got to wait for that. But 2:16.50 here, nice little break to the upside, gets all the way to 2:19. We had this yesterday, guys, and that was a great call. So we can look at it again today. But look what's happening with the NASDAQ coming back down a little bit here. So watch out. But I do like this break again, 220. We can break back above 220 on Microsoft. I think that's worth it. Bottoms, in case we get there, 218.50. But other than that, not much to look at there on Microsoft. Just waiting for a 220 break. But we need some help from NASDAQ to get to that. And then you have some bunched up. You know what? I think it's probably worth a 219 defense. Let's go a little long here. Get out at 219 if it breaks, guys.
Yeah, and it should be seconds to the open here on OCG. I will get to Roku. It is approaching that 348, so that $5 or $6 on that dip buy certainly going to work out. I mean, I'll still end up, kicking myself for not getting back into the short, or at least being a little bit in love with the short when 350 had the failed break. But it is what it is. You move on to the next trade. For now, I thought 5 minutes is up. Would be opening up on OCG. WNW is still halted, but it's halted at its high, and OCG is not there yet. That's the reason of interest, at least attempting a bit of a squeeze long here, which I will be in and out of very, very fast, trust me.
Yeah, we went back to Microsoft. The rip's up there. We didn't even have an order, but I just want to let you guys know that we are into that position right now. Long Microsoft 27. It just ripped up, but we did not get out on that move. It went all the way to 40, 45. It went to 50 there on that move, but we didn't get out. I didn't even have any orders out there. Was not expecting that quick of a move, but there goes Microsoft. Hopefully, there it goes. Nice little move. Boom! You see that out right there. Like, you can't get any better. This is a 1 minute chart. In at 25. Out at 40, 41, 42, 43. Let's go, Mr. Softy. We're in this one, guys.
Yeah, and we're ready for Brendan at the big screen. It is happening now. Just got out of Roku, got the $5, so we're locked and loaded there. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets. Nice positive start. You can see right across the board for all of these at this point. The S&P 0.4%. Same story for the Dow. It's the NASDAQ leading once again. 2 days in a row we've seen tech stocks in charge, but more than 0.5% for the NASDAQ composite in the 100. Back to the upside. The Russell, small caps, 0.4% here in Toronto. The TSX about 0.4%. We have the BOVESPA in Brazil also trading higher. Nice start to the day. A couple things from the watch list still to keep in mind here. Yeah, Roku's been a bit of a chop fest. We came all the way down to 340. We're all the way back to 350. So $10 range down and back up again for Roku, but trying to take the top off as we speak. Airbnb, 6.25%, did take the top off, 147 up to 148. Bit of a pullback right now, but nice trending move so far for Airbnb 2 days in a row, showing strength. That other one, Upstart, did break the high as well. Again, this was the one that was very strong yesterday on IPO day. Continuing this move, broke 32, bit of a pullback, a little bit thinly traded. There is volume there, but Upstart also moving higher, guys.
So right before going to Brendan, I did talk about Roku making the bounce. It just turned around at 350. Sort of anticipated there might be the pullback. So I'm flat on this name. I'm looking to get back into it, but a little bit surprised. WNW opened back up here and kept screaming to the upside, which I'm not going to test. There's just no chance you're going to see me up at 120 and 130 messing around with that name. But unfortunately, OCG here still halted. So it's been halted for longer than 7 or 8 minutes. It might be a 10-minute halt, I guess. But still screaming to the upside, WNW. That's the reason I wanted to play this if it had opened up and I could have taken this shy of its high of the day off of a maybe 2050 area support. But if it doesn't open, I can't trade it. Roku pulling back in. If it gets to VWAP, I would look for a bit of a dip buy there. Of course, I don't know if we get 340s again.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, there we go, guys. I mean, look at this softy trade. We just tweeted it out, man. We just got out at 65 there. Like what a great out that was. We still do have, how much do we have? We still have 40% left, but that 65 is monstrous, man. Great out there. Like that was huge, making our day rate there on softy. So that's a good trade. We'll wait to see if we can get more out on that name. Neo still bouncing around and not really doing a whole hell of a lot. So we got to wait. I'm still waiting for the bottom to break on that one. It doesn't look like it wants to. So I'm going to try to take this. We could take this through VWAP one more time. The last time we bought was up here 27, but it didn't really go, man. I mean, the most it got was 50. So I'm trying to go a little light on some of these stocks until we find out what's moving around. Fisker was moving in the pre-market, and right now, what is it, up 2%? Nice little move down. Yeah, wow. Okay, Fisker. Yeah, it got going there in the pre-market up to 1640, but that's been a big fade to the downside on Fisker, so no trade there yet, guys.
Yeah, I just got into that laser. Finally actually broke above that 2580 and then retested the level before recovering. So I get 82. That's a pretty clean price there, in front of that low of the day. I will take you back to NXTD, next ID. So now working off of a different level, obviously. The 135 is the new high, 136 technically if you look at that high of day, but got to be aggressive around VWAP. There is a lot of buying down there, so it's going to be scalp trading. I will always try to hold half the position for a bigger win, but you've got to take profits just so that you don't bleed in case we're going to the upside. Got to be an active trader to take advantage of it. OCG opens. But like I said, I'm not chasing it. I wanted it long. If I could have got it at 22, I would have. But it opens at like 23 something and just broke the high of the day. So the jailbreak was on there, and this one immediately fading back while WNW was halted. I can't look for the short in front of this halt level, but it is what it is. You were looking for a negative action off of the first reopen. This might be it because it's about to halt to the downside. If I have locates, oh man, I'm going to be all over this one using this current 21.15, where if it does not trade back to the upside here, it's about to halt at that price. I would use that as the new stop level, maybe like a 21.50 area, give it a little bit more room on the open. Going to look for the locates one more time here just in case we have a shot.
I don't know. Like some of my stops aren't even triggering. Like we should have been out of softy there. I don't know why that didn't trigger. We talked about it going through 219, so we do take a hit there. But the disciplined play was to get out there at 219. We talked about that, but we had to took a little piece out there, so not a good one. We'll see if it can run back to the upside. Brendan, you got something about
Baidu, one we've been talking about throughout the week. They announced their foray into the EV world. So just popping up here on a volume scanner through 192. Bit of a pivot at the end of the day yesterday through 192 for Baidu. Back to positive, guys, was negative in the pre-market.
Yeah, I mean, Baidu was definitely a good stock yesterday. Very close. It was, close to my best one. It was a very, very close tie there. But I was coming in actually thinking about what was I going to do if it got to that magical 200 level again. I bungled a short off of 200. I was able to catch one off of VWAP at around that 195, which was fantastic. But I'm always going to be thinking about that 200 and how I didn't jump back into it. So if we retest that level, you never like it as much the second time through. But I will take at least a little bit of a shot here in front of 200 even. It was a failed breakout, which means I'm going to jump at it again. Probably something in the 99.50 range if it can get there. But also worth noting, this 194, that's worthy of at least a little bit of a breakout play here if you just look at yesterday's action. So Baidu, I'll take a shot at 194 on a break, but my eyes are really a little bit more firmly squared on looking at that 200 short once again. NXTD finally broke VWAP, so I can start thinking about getting some shares out in the 110 range. Of course, 105, 1 to 105. We said all morning long here, even with our guest Luis. You got to watch out for liquidity down there. Look, if you take like a 125 short and you're not willing to take 10 to 15% on a small cap, you're doing the wrong thing. You don't get dollar wins on stocks that are $1.15.
No, that would be nice if
well,
you did.
okay,
You could.
You
I mean,
could,
we've gotten
but
them before,
you don't.
But yeah, it needs to be set up properly for that, and we'll give you guys a shout out if we do see anything crazy like that developing. Okay, Palantir still trying to go to the backside here, and this is the problem. It's trying to go low. I don't really have any outs for this because once again, man, we're 5% now in this position left. I mean, what else can we do? I mean, we're long there, hammering it all the way up. It's my number one stock today is Palantir, and yeah, still high side there, 26.95. We talked about getting some out, and again, if you're going to follow, I like to scalp it. We'll talk about making longer-term plays, including Roku, and let's check back on Airbnb. Still back to days high, man. We punched through that 144 long. That was a good trade, but it does come back in, and we get out of VWAP. So watch out for Airbnb touching VWAP again. Rite Aid again. I know I didn't even actually realize Neil was in that name before, but yeah, still, this name just tears people up. If Brendan can find out, and I apologize if you've already done this, but the short interest on this name must be huge because we're up 30% right now on Rite Aid. 22.45. I might just go long right there. What up, Bren?
23.8% to be exact on Rite Aid.
that high.
Just checking on this one as well, guys, if we can. DoorDash, 158 broke, right back below it. Heading southbound again, but there was a little volume alert that went off there at 158 for DoorDash. Nowhere near as much attention as the other ones today so far.
And as usual, laser does not hold the bottom there. Like at some point, I'm gonna figure that long out. I think it goes at some point. Obviously, we've talked a little bit about it. Sean, you mentioned looking for the break in Rite Aid. If you can't beat them, maybe join them. Obviously, I tried it in front of 22 here. You take like 90 short, you lose like 10 cents or so. But it's actually making a bit of a lower high, if you can even call it that, off that 22.50. If it tries to roll over, I will take a quick shot at it. It's already squeezed like, I don't know, 3-4 times, whatever you want to call it. At some point, it's going to come back to the downside there. Definitely crushed it on NXTD, but I'm all out. I talked about that 105 area, and I misspoke. When I said a buck to 105, my apologies. If you guys are watching, we do our pre-market prep. It was 105 to 110. That was that sort of support area at the bottom. My best exit of my initial short was actually at 109. So I do get all out in front of 110. That's where my last bids were. So a bit of a correction there. If it does get down to a buck, I think there's an opportunity for a bounce. I'd short into VWAP. I'd probably play a break of $1 just to see what happens when it goes back to penny stock status. So that can be an interesting level to watch on some of these names.
Yeah, we're flat right now. We can look at Wish. Damn it. I wish that we hit this one. That's going to get cheesy at some point.
Nah.
That this 21 level, that was a great break. We talked about how I don't like the stock, but you can't ignore sometimes when these stocks get blown out. So you got to watch out for that. I did, based on that Rite Aid there, I looked at the chart. I like a 22.50 break if we can get there. I know that sounds crazy, but again, this name. Good report yesterday, not this good, but I think the short's getting squeezed a bit. If we can go to a 3-minute chart right now, maybe we get a little bit of a better look at what we're talking about. There's 22.45. That's the high of the day. Oh, a couple shout outs there. Byron, thank you so much. And then good look there on OGC. Thank you, Bruce Parkinson, for OCG there. Neil was talking about that, and so was Brendan. So a couple good looks there. I like this little guy. He's flying. What's up, Brendan?
Dish Network. Saw this one in the pre-market. Really wasn't doing a heck of a lot, but trying to get higher once again. 31.5 just tested there on a volume spike. There was an offering, you can see, that went to market in the pre-market. But Dish Network trying to head back to the upside, guys.
I'm a little sad about this. I'm going to try that Rite Aid. It's continuing to sort of push off that 22.50. Because it's gone a little bit more parabolic, I don't know, I'm just trying to keep Sean hydrated here as best I can. I'll give it a little bit more room and start the short away from that 22.50. OCG here, it is what it is. Yeah, it's going to end up working out. You should, whether you got the trade or not, you just look back at what your plan is on some of these names. And I still love the weakness on the halts. And then once you get one of those, then do you play off some of those previous levels? Now, if you look here, that's at 23.50. Of course, it was that pre-market high, 24.40. Does not breach any of those, stalling out at 23 even. So if you short that range, I would never have held through. I mean, if I'm short here at 22, there's just a 0% chance I wouldn't be out when it goes to 1960 and halts. But either way, it doesn't violate your stop. So that's a trade that certainly would have worked out for us. But just got to get the locates first. And WNW, if you're watching that, it is still up at the high of day, which is a little bit shocking to me. I thought that would come back in when OCG did. Crazy.
WNW. What?
Like, why is it so?
What? I got to pay more attention to this because, like, what? Oh, it's halted. Okay, like,
come on,
what
man.
the hell is going on with some of these stocks? Like, someone tweeted at me yesterday. Shout out to you and thank you because you said I could have got even a double the size of the pool. Double the size of the pool. What about like? Triple the size of the pool, like $37 yesterday, like closing. I mean, I guess it closed around 62. My bad. But now you're up to 135. Okay, breathe. Okay,
it's nonsense. That's what it is. Look. Obviously,
market fundamentals.
Congratulations.
We talk about that all the time.
Congratulations to anybody who has made bank on this. Good for you. Obviously, it continues to rise. The same way OCG came back, at some point this is going to come back in, and it's going to be ugly when it does. You're certainly likely to see like that $75 to $90 range come back into play at some point today. I know we're $50 away from it, but believe me, it'll get there again, Brendan.
Worth mentioning, guys, like, the liquidity on these is laughable. Like trying to trade any kind of size bigger than 100 shares would be pretty scary, I think, on any of those. So just tread lightly if you are looking at those crazy high flyers. This one, Redfin, RDFN, another move today through 76.5, just popping up on volume. You can see this thing's been on a bit of a tear on the daily chart as well over the past couple of weeks for RDFN.
All right, we're going back into Palantir. Screw this. I mean, forget about this. Nice little bottoms here a couple times, 38, 39. We'll take a little bit more shares right now and then just try to do a tight stop. 26. Let's just use 35 there as a note. That's kind of, I mean, I know VWAP's all the way up here. This is a 3-minute chart, guys. So we just took some long there at 49. I'd hate for this to come falling back down, but these levels, yeah, this is better on a 1-minute chart. This is kind of levels I'm looking at here. Forget about these wicks. That could happen. I just don't want to be part of it. So 26, 35 or so here, going to be out on Palantir, but we just took a decent position there because our stop was only going to be 20 pennies down. So let's wait to see, get back to VWAP. We'll take a little bit out at 58 if we can for the dime, but we are going to wait downside 26.33. I still think we can back to retest 27. I mean, look at the NASDAQ. We're coming back down here. Same thing for the ES. So there it is. Okay, let's go Palantir. Maybe we got something here.
What's that saying you say all the time? Buy the rumor, sell the news. That's the one there. How have we not talked about Tesla today? Well, we kind of have, but certainly do pay attention. I want to remind everybody, oh, wowzers. Yeah, we did a video on this as well. Tesla coming into the S&P 500. We talked about how to trade it, the inclusion, what happens with the imbalance, why it matters, some other symbols that you can watch, which are going to be in play. So that's out. You can already check it out. So, do so. That's your homework tonight. If you're not, look, if you're a trader and you're not doing your homework on Tesla, the biggest rebalance event ever, I don't know what you're doing, but Tesla running up into the afternoon high, 640, 641, making a screaming bounce here off of 620. Not 420, 620, but that's good enough. I'm going to take a look. I want the pink shorts. I don't know why Greg, manager of the floor here, was sending me pictures of NBA players in their short shorts, but include me in the pink shorts if I take a shot here at Tesla and win. Elon still hasn't sent me the ones that I deserved the last couple of times. 640 to 641 is going to be my out. We get a little tighter here, make a run to like 38, 39. I'll jump into it. I can tell you Rite Aid is rolling over. I finally got it, 22.10. And there it goes. I'm going to get some out in front of 21.50 if I can. But remember, I took 2 shots at this and failed. Now I get a 60-cent win, so I'll be up on it, but it's not going to be the home run that it should be. Probably, I should have let it go more parabolic as I try to keep Sean drinking.
Oh, man. Yeah, parabolic is a good one. We're right back into, we're right back into 26.50 here. We just got some out, 55, 56. Notice that VWAP was right there. I don't like taking, honestly, like we're long at, 49? Like these outs, there's only 6, 7 pennies. But we did take some shares there. I got to hold the rest. So we're going to wait. I still have 70%. So don't worry, we're still in this name. But you got to watch out. I'm using this bottom here, 35. And it's not that we're still trading the same name here. It's just I like Palantir there. What else I like is JP Morgan. That's been a long-term hold for me as well. We'll take a look. See, this is the thing, man. Very, very choppy. There's nothing really happening in some of these names, but Brendan always has something.
Just to show you the vast move that was in all Chinese stocks, or pretty much all little Chinese stocks yesterday afternoon. This is Farmini, so F-A-M-I on the NASDAQ. This is a mushroom grower in China. They deal with the entire world. They send mushrooms right across the world that are edible, not those mushrooms. Big move down today, though, 145 back to 120, holding this kind of level from yesterday. But even this thing on no news got a huge move into the close yesterday, guys.
Yeah. You talk about that because of MindMed with the psychedelic mushrooms. Let's check out MindMed quickly here just to see. I know we've had them on the show. It's been a mover. Not bad volume here for the OTC markets, 1.8 million shares. We're climbing, man. MindMed right now, 6% up. Check out the daily chart. Pretty wild ride. We had MindMed on the other day when it was ripping, but you'll see right now back into this level. Good area of support right here. It seems to have held that $3 mark, so just checking in on that one. MindMed, I know there's a lot of you into that name, so checking in on it I think is the right play to do. Neil, check out Rite Aid. It finally failed up top there. 21.49. It does break VWAP right there, so we'll find out some more. I was looking at a high side trade there.
Because I like lines from movies that you guys have not seen. In the face, face. Look, obviously I lost a couple times on Rite Aid here, but we finally get the win. That's coming to America, by the way, which I've already referenced once. It's through VWAP, but I want more. I think it certainly has a shot to that's a little further away. I want my bid in front of 21 even. I think we get back to that and test that price. I think 2050 is probably the ultimate target where I would get the rest of these out. But now that you've broken VWAP, it can definitely come back in. I didn't get Tesla there. Let's look to see. Yeah, that's why. I was trying to get that bounce a little closer to 640. So look, you want to make sure you have a bit of a plan when you're shorting this thing. You're definitely not going to go too far away from it. I did stretch away from that 2250 to get Rite Aid. I wouldn't do that necessarily with Tesla because I'll risk maybe $2 or $3 on it, hopefully, to try and make 10. I don't want to risk 5. I've never really had that much success unless I get a fantastic price there on Tesla in particular. Now that it's run away a little bit, I'm going to cancel the stop, allow it to retest the price, maybe even break 40 before I think about Tesla one more time here. And if you guys are still watching that the OSG, or OCG, sorry, yeah, another halt to the downside. So this one's coming back in rather heavily. Be careful if you guys are trading these names. W&W might still be at 144, but look at what is happening to OCG here. It just came back like 50%. At some point, W&W will do the same.
44.40. Just looking here, I think this might be worth a shot on NEO at some point here. 44.40. We did take a shot on Palantir, and that's just kind of hovering around, not doing too much. But I think a 44.40 break might be okay. So we'll try some here on NIO. 44.40. We will put our largest position on this stock if it breaks. Oh, that's actually 35 there. So I think actually 35 is the trade. So you can take it at 44.35. A good little look there. If it goes, I think we could have something. And then I'm just going to use the bottom as the out. So 44.35 coming up on NEO. I do like that as a trade. But other than that, man, like our Palantir, we told you about these outs, and they're getting close. 35, 30. 31s or so down here. It did fade off. We did take off a little bit of profit there, but as the market goes, man, okay, there we go. Now we're into NEO 43s. Damn it, I didn't get a chance to adjust that order 35, but that would have been a good one down there at 35. I hope you have this with me. Let's see. If we're right, great. If we're not, we're going to drop this one. So I think this is worth the risk here on NIO. But right now, though, it's worth the risk always listening to Brendan. So let's go over.
Hey guys, yeah, let's talk small cap world. Once again, we'll show you a couple that, this one from yesterday. So you're gonna have to be a little bit patient with some of these, I think, today, especially the ones that were moving around yesterday. AEMD, one of those coming right up to this level now. 235, 240, so resistance in the afternoon. And then above that, you're looking at 255, 260, which is kind of the next little level up here. So AEMD. Just watching that one around this current level where it is right now. So we'll shift over to MDXG. I mentioned this one as well from yesterday. 250 to 260 is kind of this area, that high as well. And then $9. So be careful with that one if you're working off of that 260 area above that. You got to leave it until probably $9 for MDXG. And then this one, BioCardia, I mentioned more news on this one today. Was, I thought, positive, but the stock reacting very negatively. So a bounce off the lows there. It did halt on the way down, bounce into $5, gave you a nice shot on the way back down through 450 now for BCDA, guys.
I'm going to hit it. There we go. Finally have cause to use that little graphic, some power up action there. Is that the same? Look at that. It's almost like I knew. I think I'm wearing the same shirt as when we made that animation. But there is that 2050 bounce on Rite Aid. You'll see I'll get back up when it fails at that price. It's going to end up being, look at 2077 is going to be the out, and we rolled into our short here at 2217. So it's a good win. It's a $1.40. I'd take a couple of swings at this. Actually, that's not true. I'll take this trade almost every single time. The 20 even consolidation below VWAP, it breaks. I like that. I'll do it every single time, like I said. This one in front of 22, it just made a bit of a breakout. There's nothing. It's just an even dollar level on a stock. It's getting squeezed. It's like sometimes you allow it to fail off a level rather than chase it on the way up, and that's exactly what we did. You let it fail at 2250. You let it try to test that level again. When it rolls over, you get it. Now, if it goes the first time and I miss, that's the price of admission. It is what it is. I would have saved losing on that little scalp there for 10 cents, but ultimately you got to find ways to improve. That's one I certainly could have done over in Rite Aid. To quickly go back to Tesla here, it looks like this is going to continue its push. Now, I was never looking to short this break at 65, the bottom end of this consolidation. I really did want it up here, tight to that 640 range. So I'm going to stay away from Tesla until maybe it bounces off of VWAP, and there's no guarantees that it will, but that's my next look.
Okay, we did fall down there on, what is this? On NEO there. And like we said, it broke. We got out of quarter right there, and then we got out of, I guess, another quarter right here. Sorry, more than that, about 50% of the trade right there. So now we're still long. I'm just going to use it off this bottom. I'm going to go more long if we break 44.10 right now. So there we go. So now we are long NEO. 44.10, we just took some there. So a good little trade if we can get some out now on the high side. We'll put some orders there, but not been a good trade here on NEO. We're going to use the bottom of the day now to get out of everything if it doesn't continue to move upside right now. So NEO in trouble for sure. We've been trying to fight the long, as you guys can see all day. No real damage. This is like a scalp. This is how you trade, man. I'm not going to hold something all the way to the downside, but not really a great trade today for NEO, especially if you're looking long like I've been trying to catch some bottoms. Just hasn't been good look there. Give it to us, Bren.
This one popped up on the radar once again yesterday, but just breaking through day highs here for UAVS, the drone maker. Yeah, through day highs on volume as well for this one. Was definitely strong on the day yesterday after about a month and a half of just doing nothing but selling off. So UAVS doing volume, guys.
We're looking for an opportunity to go short and Wish. Obviously, the long was kind of good. This is where bias is going to get you. I don't mind the fact that the actual bias was to the south side here, but if I see an iceberg order and there's a potential stock that no one likes and it was weak yesterday, there's always a squeeze opportunity, and that's what happened. It just went further than I would have ever anticipated. I got out in the pullback to lock in profits, and it goes all the way to 22. So there's no way I'm watching it because at that point I'm sort of hands off the trade. Now that we're back below VWAP and it makes more sense, I look at that 2160 hold. I see us now leveling off at 2130. I just jumped in at 31s. I'll essentially give this back to that 60 level because I want to be adding to this position at 2140 and 2150. So if it gets to 2165, I have to be careful with the amount of shares I take at 30 because my average price needs to be 45 to 50. That's what I'm looking for. So I'll only sell more at a better price than what I have right now, guys. And if it breaks 65, fair enough. Maybe the squeeze is on again in that name. Tesla, not getting to that 630 level, right in the middle where I'm not going to touch it, back at 635.
Yeah. And okay, so NEO basically goes all the way down to our out. We don't get out, but it was close there. So 43.90, the low of the day there, but now it's coming back to the upside. I think it's probably prudent to try to get some out as it doesn't look like it wants to go up. These were wins, man. I mean, like 44.10 out around the 20 spot. I know that's not, the way a lot of you guys trade, but again, it's about the share size that you have and just trying to manage this risk. I'm trying to do the best I can here while trying to catch a falling knife, and it looks like honestly it's about to break right now. So we're gonna get out of this one, wipe our hands of NEO. Not a big loser, so it's okay, but it's really would have liked to catch one of these longs just to make our day, and right now it's just not going that way. What is going though is Palantir up to 65, man. We did put one of our biggest trades on, and I told you, that's the thing, you guys want to know when we're putting on risk. I just told you we're putting on our biggest position in NEO, and this was our biggest position in Palantir. Breaks through VWAP. Now let's see if we go back to the high side right there. Give it to us, Bren.
Another one going today. All-time highs here for Snapchat, guys. 5.5% on the day, up through 54. What was that high? That last little pivot was 53.84. So Snapchat all-time highs today.
Yeah, buddy.
On the move. There you go, Snapchat. Bottom break here. Well, it's an opening range break on SPA here. Just going to slide into shares when it broke that 175 mark. I like this one all the way back into VWAP. I did get some more shares of Wish, but I'm backing off till it breaks that 50 so I can take it a little tighter, that 2165 that we have. Those are what I'm working with to the short side. But I am looking at Tesla here, and I know some of you guys are still watching that WNW. If you are, remember, this is actually the last one was a downside halt, right? So I said watch out. If you're long this, you got to be in the money and you got to be taking profit, or you're crazy, in my opinion.
Yeah, we're taking some profits right now on Palantir. Bang! Yes, finally, guys. Like, good trade here on Palantir. Neo gives us, we just took some out 70s. This is a good one, man. Again, we're positive on Palantir. It's my largest stock today. My worst stock of the day tried to go back. There, we just took some out again at 10. Like, I'm not as heavy now, guys. We're pretty light. Have about half the position. So this trade is about a winner right now. If I were to get everything out right here, because we took to the top, we took some outs, 19s, 20s, and so on and so forth, and we just took a bunch out there. Look, 9s, 10s, and 8s. Again, this is just maybe if I can zoom in a bit more, you can see. These are just 1 minute charts there. It looks like it's going to break. We're making a bottom. I do want to hold out some in case we're wrong and this goes back, but right now I'm using this bottom as it, because if that breaks, it could be just, we could get flush and then goes right back to the upside. If we do that, we'll look at it again, but yeah, right now, man, if this doesn't go, I'm not loving this at all. So we got to watch out. There's a peg here to 44. It doesn't want to go. Every time it tries, it comes right back down. So like, it should have gone here, in my opinion. Obviously, that's why we went long. Then here's the break back up. It goes and stops. Here we go, right back to flat again. So you want out of this one, you can get out, but we're going to wait on it. Let's go. Let's go now, Neo. We'll see if we go to the high side right here. Go.
Neo making some moves, guys. Zoom, and I see there. Look, obviously, we see people throw names in the chat at us all the time. We try to be active and see as many as we can. But I know a couple of times I saw Zoom out of the corner of my eye, and I didn't have an obvious level to look at originally, other than if it took out the like a 400 level. But you look at what's below this. I mean, if it ever broke 400, I gotta like it. The only interesting thing here is that 404 close price. From yesterday, and I'll go to the 1 minute so I can quickly show you. That 404 close price gives you an interesting entry off of VWAP here if it pulls back. So there might even be a fade trade that I didn't see before, other than a 400 break. So I will have a look at both of those entries on Zoom. I still am looking at Tesla if it goes back to that 640, but it's coming down into VWAP. If it holds that, I'll take a bit of a bounce play. But of course, I'm still working into that wish short position, which we wished we had at 22.
Yeah, Brennan, what's up, bud?
Just checking on Zoom, actually. There was a Morgan Stanley price target increase. It was only $10, but worth mentioning. And then also, they're going to lift that, you know how they have that 40-minute time cap on calls? Apparently, they're going to lift that 40-minute time limit on certain days of the week. So there was a couple of headlines on Zoom. Wanted to mention this one as well. AWH just popping up on the radar. You can see huge volume spike through 575, 8% for this one, guys.
Guys, like this is good, man. The pins were lined up, and then we're just knocking them down here. We're not like trying to play this for the full 10 frames, guys. We're just getting in. We talked about that. We're trying to like ease up on some of this. It's my largest Neo position of the day. That's why you're hearing me get a little bit excited here, and it just didn't go, man. I mean, we tried. We're long at 44.10, sorry, 44.11. We just cashed them out 22s, 23s, 24s. Good trades here for Neo, but we still think, I mean, honestly, I don't want to get out of anymore, because I think that this could probably get back up here if we're right. This might be a spot where you can try to average in maybe a little bit here to Neo. So you might want to take more of a long through 44.50, but I just don't know if we get there. I think we're not going to take any out until we break above 30. We just tried it. That was 28 high there. So let's put some orders in the mid 30s to cash out of this one. Palantir, man, we're just getting out 70s. Like, we're long 49. That's a nice little win. So we'll just keep on getting out of Palantir. It's been a good day so far. Just not any monster winners other than right off the open, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, my best is going to be that NXTD, and we got back on Rite Aid, positive, of course, but I took some cuts on that one before we got the winner. Next ID, just coming back to this name, bounces off VWAP here. Now, I told you guys about that support at 110. I thought it was important to clarify that I got out of all of it at that 110 mark, accidental long that actually make the spread on. That's a bit of a fluke there, so I had a few extra shares that I got out of. So I'm looking at VWAP here. That 120 was a good level before, but you're really mostly playing off 135. So if we get below a VWAP and I can get like 115s short and then use that 120 instead of taking it on the way up, that's a way I prefer to get back in. So that way, if 110 breaks, I can work it down to that 1 to 105 range. And if it becomes a penny stock again, this was a 92-cent stock at the close yesterday. I'm taking advantage of that move. XSPA, that's the other small cap. I did get back in on that break. I'm right here at like 75.5. It's at 75.76, so nothing to see there.
Okay, guys. Yeah, look, what time is it? 10:30 right now. So we're going to look. Someone says, don't worry, Neo. Sometimes we win, sometimes. I mean, look, yeah, I'm not worried because bang right now, NEO to the upside. But thank you, Toby, for those kind words. We just took some out at 30, and I think that's right, man. You're right. Every day you can't come in and crush it, but we are right now. We're crushing this stock. My largest position of the day was that taken right down here on NEO. I told you about it, and look, that's something that I've done. Yeah, you guys got rid of my, oh, there it is. Okay, the hot dog one's on a different page. But there it is. I told you, you guys wanted to know when Neil or I take bigger positions, when we're trying to go. I told you this was my biggest one of NEO. We took a lot of shares down there. That's why we're super excited. And then back to Palantir. I also told you that this was my largest Palantir position, and I took this against myself. So you could have came in with me here, and it goes all the way to 70, and we're pretty much out of both of these names now. Rip, NEO, rip. Brendan.
Another one to look at, guys. We talked about this one a couple of days back. VUZI. They have a VR glasses product that Plug Power is using for some training work due to the pandemic. A lot of people working remotely. So VUZI just popping up here. You can see volume coming back in through 7. This is 52-week highs for VUZI, guys.
So here comes the freight train. This Tesla. If you guys have never heard of that stock, and then you probably shouldn't be trading.
No, never heard of it.
Just came up to that 640. Tested a couple times. There is a level there, but remember when I gave you the higher time frame look, 641 is going to be my out. There was no VWAP bounce to play, so obviously you're not going to see me in there to the long side off of 35. But it's going to test. If it breaks through and can get through that second level, I'll be out of it. But I got 39.96 is my price here, which I said if it comes the second time, I got to get a really tight price to 640. I've accomplished that. I definitely would take some out if it gets down to like this 36 half range. And then if it's a VWAP retracement, that'd be a home run. 33 to 34 is much more realistic. Brendan.
Just looking at Rite Aid here, coming down in a hurry. Volume coming into Rite Aid, top of the list. You can see sell volume here. I was just checking out this high from way back when. Was 2030. So 2030 needs to hold, or you get below that, maybe worth a short on RAD. Valeria is watching what's going on over in Europe this morning. V, what is going on?
Hey, Brandon. European shares remain at 10-month highs for the fourth session. WPP trading in London is up more than 4% after advertising firms said that it expects to return to 2019 level of net sales by 2022. Back to you.
Yeah, hour to go over in the European session. We'll update it again at 11, guys.
All right.
Tesla breaks. I get out when 641 breaks instead of 49. I could have taken a tighter stop there, but it got to 641.44 and couldn't continue. That means if it slams back to the downside, I've made the mistake of not at least making the attempt to get back in if I like a level. If it goes back down without breaching this new high, like the 50 or so, I'm going to jump right back into the same trade with that fresh high. 641.50 is my new out. So I got my order ready to go. If it makes a fresh high, I'm not going to take the trade. But as long as we've held this 41.50, I'll jump hopefully right back into maybe the same position on Tesla here. It is another ramp up, and I like the fail breaks. Those are definitely good opportunities to take a trade here. And so far, if you punched long on a 40 or 41 break, you have not gotten the winner that you would have been looking for. So that's what I'm watching. Of course, I still have the other two shorts on, but Tesla about to come right back in.
Yeah, and I want to, someone made a comment there. I wish I would have saw it, but it was something about, oh, here it is right here. Thank you, Brett. I think you're right, is good. Making the bet, it's not that, thank you, so good. I mean, whatever. I mean, we're just traders here. It's very, very humbling sometimes when we see this, because me and Neil just do this as a living, and now we're able to broadcast it to you guys, which is fantastic. But making the best of bad movement. I mean, look, we do the show every day regardless of what the market is doing, right? And so sometimes you do have to make the best of whatever movement's happening in the market, because we're trying to put a show on for you. You have to also remember one other thing too. This is Thursday before the largest rebalancing in the history of mankind. I hope that's true.
Of course it's true.
There. Okay, it is true. Thank God for that one. That's why I'm here, guys. Some comedic relief anyways. But there it is. So look, that's people waiting. So you got to be patient for that. Like, that's why, like, when Palantir comes all the way back up here and we can take VWAP, we take it, man. Take what's given to you. I'm going to average in longer if NEO breaks right now above this level, 44, 45. So watch out, more NEO longs coming. We're waiting at 37, 38 now to get, we're long at 11s. So this is going to be a big trade. Did we just get 37s there? No, we did not. But watch out now for this name, NEO. Looks like it's getting a little top heavy right now. I like the break higher, but we've noticed the movement on NEO to the downside. So let's start pairing some off and then wait for this break.
Yes, and I'm waiting for the breakdown on Tesla, which I can tell you right now isn't happening, but the sheer volume that goes, look at the volume that tests on this little break of 640 to 641. It's insane, and that's where the upside comes, right? So if you have a tight stop on a short and you're risking like $1 or $2 to try and make 3, 4, or 5, it's the interest around that level that I'm going to like here, and that's why I'm going to take another crack at it. Now, obviously, if it breaks that new high, you're going to see me take 2 shots at it and get out, and that's exactly what happens here. I give it more room the second time because I think the retracement could be bigger, so there's more upside on the trade, but of course that's the downside if it comes back in. But Tesla looking like it's too strong. I won't take a third crack at it. That would be a little bit crazy in my opinion. If it gets to like 650, I don't know. I don't want to say never, but I'm probably taking a shot at that one as well, guys.
Yeah, never say never. Yeah, that's a good song for my partner in crime over there, Miss Valeria, loving Justin Bieber. If you want to send some super chats for some Justin Bieber love, that'd be great. Maybe she could pick up. I don't know if he has any new albums coming out or not. Do albums even exist anymore with all the streaming? I guess they just drop tracks right now. Okay, Airbnb, just checking back on that one. I hope you guys are there. I know all of you love our little, let's go to the big screen here, guys. You can see off the open, if you can go to this camera here, you can see off the open there, Airbnb is on there somewhere. There it is, 144. We had that break. You're seeing it at 147 now. You can also see Palantir, 2650. We'll check back on AMD. There's that Microsoft break of 220, which was huge as well. But then we have a bunch of NEO longs. And then look at that NEO short, 4450. Should have listened to myself and took that on that break, but we didn't. We were too caught in the long. But there goes NEO. We're just taking some more out. I told you we're getting a little nervous, but look at the S&P coming back up. NEO's resisting this 4435. I think it can go, but without any further ado, I'm going to take a little bit more sip of the water, and the market, we're hoping it can get spicy.
So I think it's going to end up being true. I don't know. It certainly looks like I'll have made top wick on Tesla. I tried twice. I failed twice. The short might come in. We'll see what happens here. I just thought the opportunity on a run like that, going into what everyone expects to be a bit of a ramp up, that you'd see some sell action and the sell the news could come in. I mean, if this thing comes out the wrong way tomorrow, it could be in for like a $20, $30 move. I know we're very quickly going to be going to Brennan in a second here for our sector watch, but I wanted to go back to a couple of names here, and I'll do the first one, XSPA. It is starting to roll over. I'm not taking anything off until we get to this level here, this 160, 169. That's where I'll start covering. It's a 175 short. I did get some more shares up here in front of 180, but until it gets to like that first 5 or 10 cent, 5 or 6 cent win, that's when I'll start getting out. It was $1.50 close to the close yesterday. That'll be my ultimate target. Now we are ready for Brendan and our sector watch.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500. 0.5%. I mean, 0.5% is 0.5% to the upside. 0.51 to be exact. Let's figure out what is leading the way so far. We'll start here. Healthcare stocks in positive territory. Definitely not the leader. We'll get to those in a second here, but I wanted to mention WST, HCA, and DVA 1.5 to kind of 2.5%. WAT 3% at the bottom there. So pharmaceutical companies, equipment makers in charge in the healthcare group. Somebody was mentioning the movement, not the greatest today. You also have to kind of reel in your expectations once you do have something in the money and working for you. Don't try and hit home runs on days like this. Tech shares, though, in charge as far as upside action. ACN here, 7.3%. CTH, 3%. There's PayPal on the list this morning, 2.5% so far in positive territory. So it's all about the software makers so far. Semiconductors, kind of flat, really not doing a heck of a lot. Same story with the hardware equipment makers. Have a look at the consumer discretionary stocks. Lennar was on our earnings board at the end of yesterday's show. They reported better than expected earnings there. 7% move for Lennar. Etsy down here as well, standing out. 3.3%. And L Brands at the bottom there in negative territory along with Expedia. There was some of the travel names popping up a little bit weak today. Cruise lines are back in negative territory. Norwegian, CCL, you can see there. Domino's, though, positive, trying to offset a little of that negativity. Way over in the corner there, worth mentioning, energy stocks are negative today. So also offsetting a 0.5% move for the S&P, guys. Back over to you.
Right.
If you didn't get out of your WNW, if you are long and you were brave enough to take it, this stock does halt again. Obviously, you're going to see a heavy retracement back in this name, and I think ultimately it gets back down to like 75 to 90 or something around that range. It's on its way. You probably should have already covered it if you haven't. Crazy. Tesla, this is a heck of a bid. So congratulations, Elon. You're an absolute beast. I know you're loving it. Put all that money into SpaceX, baby, and save the world one more time there. Either way, it is actually holding up rather nicely, so I don't feel nearly as bad because maybe it's just as strong as it seems when it took me out a couple of times here. I did short in Wish. My price is better than that 21.50, but there's a seller at 22. That's a lower high. It broke 22 the first time. I never got that short. I'm short in front of that level a second time here. One more name, and this one just along the same lines is, of course, that whatever, the W&W, OCP, they're all the same crazy thing. SCPS, this one's still up 450%. Despite already putting in a 50% retracement. So this is what is coming for all of those names here. And if you're trading them, like Brendan said, they can't even stay open for more than a minute or two before they halt again. So it is absolutely crazy to think you're doing anything but actively day trading them if you can. And for most people, you probably don't have the tools. If you don't have the tools on your retail account, you probably shouldn't be touching it. I would have loved to try the hand at a short of one of these once they settle down. So if we can hold and open for like 5 or 10 minutes, get some consolidation, that's good trading for some of these names. It hasn't happened to any of them yet, but this is another one that might be doing it if it can open and hold around this 29 to 30 range, which is still ridiculous, but certainly would allow us to get into it, in and out of it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Neo does fade back in. That's why we just cleaned this up, guys. We did go longer there at 44.40, which is why you're going to see the price at 44.43. But we really did well on that. So that was a good little move for us there on here comes the cash cow. He's not really a cash cow today, that's for sure, on Neo. But this was a great trade. This 44.10. You see, we cashed it all out. Then we went a little more long on that 44.40 break, and then when it didn't go, like this is, I can try to zoom in as much as we can there. We got more out right now. Now we're just holding a very, very small piece to see about this backside trade again. I kind of like digging into some longs here, but it's just so weak. The stock today, like even though it's only down 1.3%, I mean, it's not well trading. So like that message there, like Neil and I just talked about it. You're seeing right now the NASDAQ come off. We haven't really looked at the market too much today, but 12,740 there was that high. I don't know. It looks like it bounced off like 1, 2, 3, like a whole bunch of times there. Some consolidation at that level. Now the downside, we're consolidating the same side there. So 278 there coming through. Look, I don't know. I still do think that we can retest bottoms here on the NASDAQ. So again, someone also asked, do we expect a red or green day tomorrow because of the imbalances? The imbalances won't affect the day. They'll just affect the instant moves there that happen probably in the first 5 minutes. We'll talk all about it tomorrow, so join us tomorrow. Oh, and definitely, if you're looking for information on what may or may not happen tomorrow, this video definitely hold on to this one and watch it, because we do talk about what we're expecting for Tesla, how I would trade it, how Neil would trade it, Brendan's opinion in there as well. So if you do have love for the show, check that video out, and you will not be disappointed. It's how we're going to try to trade those imbalances. And then we're not live on the show, of course, but we will be talking all about it on Monday. And thank you so much, Lori. You hit your goal. There's the 20. That's smooth. Thank you so much, Lori. You continue to support the show. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for being a fan, Miss Lori. Absolutely.
And we love the entire family here, and we appreciate everything you do for us. And we try to send that right back to you guys. Of course, now, everyone's going to be talking about Tesla. I had mixed results on Roku. Obviously, there was a good short off the open. This is like the luckiest exit, taking it out in VWAP right before it popped up. But that breakout long stunk for me. I was able to catch it at the bottom. That same bottom, that 342 in front of that 340 is coming right back into play here. I'd like to be testing it again. It didn't quite get there. I mean, you got 342.20 or so. It didn't quite get all the way to that low, and we're screaming down here on Roku rather heavily. This 22, this is ridiculous, this wish. I mean, I wish I had just thought, that's way too many times I'm saying the word wish about that stock. But I really wish I had more of a bull look on it, because I'm thinking short, made my money on it long, and I'm going to lose on it when it breaks that 22 even, or if I just played the squeeze all day long, you'd been fantastic. So too many people don't like that stock, and it's going down. I'm going to try to put a bid in here in front of 340 on Roku, see if it can hold that little bottom. But I want a better price than the first time. And I got 340, 220. So I want something in the 341 range, tighter to that level if I can, Brendan.
A little oil and gas name just popping up here. I'll show you. This is Northern Oil and Gas. NOG on the NYSE ARC exchange got all the way up there to almost 10, which was that last high, and then turned on a dime. We had the natural gas inventory number out there at 10:30, 15 minutes or so ago, and this thing just fell apart when that happened. So volume on the way up, but NOG coming back in, guys.
Eggnog?
Yeah, did you say eggnog? I was just thinking the same thing. I picked up 3 cartons of eggnog the other day to go with some nice rum that our friend Rob provided for a nice little Christmas gift there. And we're going to be having that rum and eggnog. I told her we'd pour some tonight, so we'll do that. And normally I don't day drink? No, I don't day drink unless it's the weekend. Weekday drink, but we'll have some rum and eggnog tonight. That's for damn sure to celebrate. It's been a good day today. Not a great day. We're still positive. This position pending here. NEO, we just got more there at 44.12. We actually basically doubled our position again. I'm only going to use this 44 as a drop. I'm not going to let it go. I do think that NEO's probably a short from here, but let's just see if this market goes. I think if the NASDAQ can get back, then NEO can get back a little bit, and then we can close this trade out, hopefully, right here. Like, if I can get this out right here, then, yeah, we'll be back to positive on the stock and on the day as well. So let's watch out for NEO going to the upside. Palantir, put me to sleep, man. We're not Superman on that stock today. But our 2650, like we took 2610 there, we took 2650 early, goes up to 27. That was the kicker there on today's 2650 shot. That was the name that we liked and the spot that we liked. Here goes NEO. There it is, out. So we're out of NEO now. We can finish that trade off. I'm still holding a small amount, but nothing significant. Even if it goes back to 44.40, it's not going to be a good win. It's going to be a good win, but our money is lost now on NEO. Kiss that goodbye. We'll look at that tomorrow again. I'm not getting aggressive in this thing until we break 44.50 again. I'm not going to try to pick bottoms.
Yeah, I'm drinking rum and eggnog. No, I love it. It's a great, fantastic drink and an absolute classic. Shaken out of Wish when it broke 22, but then it slammed right back in. So I got back some shares at 97, so I'll go over that trade in a second. But yeah, I talked about wanting to get a better price on Roku out in front of 340. I got 340.68 here, and you know, it's a pretty solid price. So you're only risking, I mean, slippage is going to matter in a stock like this, so it's over $1 that you're easily risking on that long. But if we can get anywhere close to this 43, I'll take some off, and then VWAP, of course, looming at 345. Bit of a retracement play here on Roku. The best trade was along off the bottom, so I'm trying to repeat that. But you can't expect as big of a win the second time, or at least I never do. I will take you over to Wish, which again, my best trade was long. The short is absolutely stunk. I thought this would be, to be perfectly honest, which we try to be around here, I really thought that this short into this high, if it held that 22, that you're looking at breaking 20 at some point today. This stock was so ridiculously weak on the first day, giving you a $4 retracement, that it felt like the same thing could be here, and I really wanted to almost like make the day shorting Wish. And somehow it's like the long break at 2110 is my best level. File that one away. There was an iceberg seller at 2110. Talked about it pre-market if you're joining us late. If I can work into more shares of this short, I'm going to try and do the same thing and be aggressive and hold it all the way to 20, maybe add it to 2110. It's just, it's a sucker's bet when, you know, obviously your first trade of the day was the best direction, and I'm thinking the other way the whole time, and I'm still sort of leaning in that direction when it comes to Wish. I'm not going to get out of Roku until we get about $1.50 more here, but we're on the way upside. And it's time to talk a little currency and crypto. Let's go to the big screen with Brendan and Money Talks.
Hey guys, yeah, let's talk about the currency world so far today. I threw up the dollar index over on the chart today. Yeah, we'll get to Bitcoin still going to the upside, but wanted to show you this. This is a fresh 2.5-year low for the US dollar today. So it did break that 90. That was kind of the last line in the sand. So a lot of these seeing big time moves to the upside again today on fresh dollar weakness. The euro 122.5. Canadian dollar almost 79 cents, up 0.25% once again. British pound on quite the run this week, 0.5% almost every single day. 135.7 I should say, for the British pound. Japanese yen, Swiss franc, both lower on the session. Australia and New Zealand, both nicely higher as well. Better part of 0.5% for both. Yeah, the big one at the bottom here, 23,241, up 9.5% again today for Bitcoin. Ethereum following suit as well, 660. Guys, back over to you.
Got that song in my head now, by the way. So thank you very much, Beanie Man, for replacing the other song that was in my head. Lucas, thank you very much for that. I'm not going to say it because I don't want it to be in your head like it's been in mine. Roku still consolidating in the money, and this is one of the reasons why you catching it on this little dip. If you're going to go against what's clearly a downward trend here and a retrace on Roku, the second time through, you want a good price. I could have scalped out a buck, certainly maybe $1.50 or so. That was never the plan. That's why I didn't get out, guys. I wanted to come back to like 343 at least. But it's a tight stop. I'm not reversing the short in Roku here. It feels like maybe I should be, but I'm not going to fight it too hard. I've had liked shorts in other names a little bit better. Certainly if it breaks and goes down to like 336, that was that level we talked about in the pre-market as well. I might take another crack at the long. Here goes Wish. It's about 20 cents in the money, but like I said, this thing is to me, if it holds this 22 area, now the new high 22.20, I think that iceberg at 21.10 is going to be back in play. I think if we break that, 20 even is in play as well. It was, like I said, it was just so weak. I think it's going to be worth it. Roku trying to bust up, got that long side. XSPA, I should say. I'll come back to that one when there's something to talk about. It did break down below 170, but I'm not taking anything out until it gives me more than that 5 or 6 pennies, guys.
Okay, guys, so Palantir, nice run now, guys, 25 cents in the money. We held this against ourselves a little bit there. There's our in. There's one of our outs. So we are still holding. This has been a good trade for us today. It's my highest stock. So Palantir for the win for me today. As we go, Luckin Coffee is actually my #1 stock, but we haven't traded that. This was a big trade off the open. And then since then, we only made one more. And this was, as you can see, just a couple pennies. But this was a long 31 and then an out here, 48, 49. With a decent amount of shares. So believe it or not, this is a #1 stock for me today, which isn't saying much there. But NEO, look at that, guys. It does bounce straight up and straight off of that 44 level. So we got back. I told you we didn't dump all of it. We dumped 3/4 of it right there. So a little bit back, making some money back there. But I still do believe in this stock. So we'll take one more try, and then we're going to dump it at the very bottom. I said I wouldn't. But 44 is like a magnet down there. So there's our long. We're getting a little bit more aggressive, less aggressive with this as we take a bid down here instead of right here. So long now at 07, giving it back to 89. Last line in the sand for me, Neil. We'll try one more time and then just hope that it can blow upside. And then we wait for VWAP, man, 44.70. If that comes, we'll be lost. Third line in the sand. Yeah, that's a little loud.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't know it was that loud.
No, it's okay.
But I'm like, you said it. I'm like, oh, I got a key for that. So I want to make sure I hit that one for you there. This one's for you, Luisa, our guest from the Barcelona Day Trader World office this morning. You wanted to scalp Mara. I missed this like about a gazillion times when it bounced off VWAP, but I like to file those. Well, it's not a gazillion, like 3. Okay, fine. Like that's obviously a ridiculous exaggeration, but I'm trying to. It is what it is. That's a terrible exaggeration. But that 975, the last price that I liked, screams through VWAP. I've been looking to fade Mara all day long. Scalp is the name of the game here in terms of style of trade for this. So when it gets at 75, I already took half out, just taking those like little quick like a couple of cent wins here. I'd give it a little bit of room. Oh, there goes Roku. Boo, Roku. So that breaks the bottom there. Actually, accidentally got a little short. I'm just going to get out of it. Obviously, the first long was good. Try my hand at the second one. It doesn't work out. If Mara does get to VWAP, I will not still be in the short. This is not me over in XSPA thinking it's going to 150. It's not me in Wish thinking it's going to breaking 21 even and being a home run. This is just trying to get a VWAP retracement. I'm not going to even give it past 980, guys. Like I'm getting out here. If it breaks 980 for sure. If it bounces off 980, I'd probably get some in. Get some more shares in, but it literally just broke there. I'm going to get right in, right out of that trade. So it was a scalp trade the entire way. If it gets to 10 even, I would retry it. But certainly, this is more of an active style trade that you're going to be doing over in MARA, to be sure.
Finally, Neo, we have you, and we've been getting out. We put the risk on again at this 44 level. Like, again, if you're joining us for the first time, man, I mean, this is how I trade. We scalp. Normally, I try to get the bigger winners than this on Neo, but we'll just keep taking it, man. We're long at 07 right now. It's up to 20. Look where we just got out right there. So 23s, 24s, some 25s as well. We're right there at 25 now. So yes, we finally have this on. So bang, we don't get unplugged after all on Neo. We're still a little bit unplugged. Like, this day is going to be positive. Adding, man, all we're doing, guys, pile up it, man. We're only negative 1 day this month. Truth be told, like, you want to audit? Let's audit. Like, this is what we're doing, man. These are real trades, guys. Big time move from the upside there, right back to the high side. 3 negative days in November, 1 in December, and that was on the Dash IPO. It's a big red mark, but we got out in 10 seconds. We got in and we got out in 10 seconds on that IPO for a loser. But here we go, back to the upside. Great trading happening right now. Palantir still high side as well. So we've got 2 trades on, and it's going pretty good. And then we got some GBTC on from right here, breaking through VWAP, a 94. It's at, I don't know what it's at right now, 01s, just bouncing around. You see how this goes. Like, look at that. You got an 04, then you got some 95s. So I'm not really sure about this, but GBTC trying to make moves. Couple trades on here, not great, but that's that stock. Bye-bye, Neo. Hells to the yes. That's a money train right there. Back it up. Let's just keep on going on Neo. We're going to be negative on the stock, but our net is rocketing right now under the high side off of some of these longs. Thank you for the notes in the chat, man. Keep your head high. Keep battling, keep trusting what you're seeing, and we'll be here with you guys.
Yeah, I said I would only cover this when it started to go below this 170. So XSPA, you can see my orders here, and I did get that one fill 68. I got some more at 66, all the way down to that 150 target that we have. I'm also trying to get more, and I have been trying to get more shares in the low 70s. Of course, all my prices were above $1.75, but unable to get any more at a better price, so I'll chase it down a little bit behind that 175 area. It is just sliding down here, so I like the direction of this trade. I have worked back into Wish, which looked like it's going to be a bit of a failed breakout trade, but I wanted to make sure I showed you guys Roku. Now, obviously, it did stop me out. Thankfully, we were able to get this execution here at 339.50. So like I said, with slippage, risk about $1. It did go all the way to 338. So if your routing key stinks, you might actually pay an extra couple of dollars there when the spread opens up. Thankfully, we're able to get a good out there. It is bouncing, so it's kind of like Tesla, where your stop hits and then ends up working out for you if you had held through. But if you hold through, that means you didn't have an out, and that means you didn't have a plan. Right. So, speaking of Tesla, I said, look, I'll never shy away from short. Like, it's always fun when you can throw the pie in your face on this. I like this short so much, I tried it twice. I should have tried it a third time, but I said I would not. There is Tesla right back into VWAP. So I don't get the pink shorts today, guys. I'll be down because I really wanted Tesla to go. I have a chance for Wish here. It's holding up at 22 as well. But this one, a little bit, even actually a stronger look because it's a squeeze play than Tesla is looking right now. So certainly, I kind of had more confidence in Tesla than Wish, but Tesla ending up working out, bouncing off VWAP as well. But after that hard retracement, double time through, I'm not going to take that long. I would have liked it around here if it bounced off VWAP at about 10:30 or so, but not here at lunchtime. I feel like if it breaks down as the market is going to be testing, I mean, the market coming off in the NASDAQ, and if it starts to break into negative territory, I don't want Tesla long at VWAP. That could go back to 620, Brennan. Oh, sorry, no, that's a European update. Let's go to Valeria.
Hey guys, European shares are trading higher today after US Federal Reserve commented that it will continue to support the economy. Britain is down 0.19%, France is up 0.05%, Italy is up 0.14%, and Germany is up 0.88%. HelloFresh trading in Germany is down more than 3% after stock has been downgraded. That's all of the Europe. Back to Neil.
Thank you very much, Ms. Valeria. I want to come back just to update you guys on what's going on with some of these names here. Of course, there's only a half an hour left in the show, and there's a lot to cover because we want to make sure you know what's actionable both tomorrow, which is the biggest day of the year when it comes to, for a lot of day traders, that rebalance day, but certainly the afternoon there'll be some things to look at as well. OCG has come all the way back and then some. It's right at its pre-market lows. This was a $6 close yesterday, so it's still 2x of that. But like I said, these are coming in rather heavily on every one of these illiquid names. Well, it's right in the range. So what do we say? We said 75 to 90 was going to come pretty soon. Yeah, last halt at 88 on WNW. Maybe it has some kind of a shot if there's enough people that are still bullish on this for whatever reason, down at like 50 or 55. Still has yet to consolidate or give any semblance of rational or normal trading. If it does happen, I think there could be some actionable trades in the afternoon. I'm going to come back to Rite Aid, if I can, just for a quick second here. There was a bit of a bounce off the 20 level. Now, remember, this is the original area that I was playing to the short side before I got stopped out at 30s. We finally got that one off of a 22 level at the top. Now it looks like it's got a bit of a base here right back at that 20. However, I look at that previous pre-market high, 2130, VWAP now, looking to roll over again. So it's one of those lunchtime type ideas where I tried 20 to 2030, and now I'm looking at 21 to 2130. Very, very similar trade. The difference being it's already put in a bit of a flush. The first time I took this trade, just got into it now at 2103. The first time I took this trade, it hadn't given you a squeeze to the upside on the open. 24% short interest. Now it's already given you that squeeze and then faded back in. So it's a little bit weaker, and you can definitely like that trade a little bit more. So back into it at 2103. This is not a sense of wanting revenge on Rite Aid, but it's already given you the flush, would give you just a bit more confidence to take that trade, guys. And just because we have to remind you, this is very, very important, what day is tomorrow? It is Tesla to the S&P 500. This is the biggest rebalance and the biggest addition that's ever happened. So it's a massive market event. We did do a video on this, so you can learn all about what our plans of action is going into what it will be a monumental day of trade and a monumental close. So check that out. It is already released. Jump there. It's your homework for tonight. Whether you do it after the show is done in the afternoon or at lunchtime when you're eating lunch, or tonight before you go to bed, just make sure you check it out. Do your research. You are not trading this tomorrow, whether it's the tech names that are getting down-weighted or Tesla itself, without educating yourself. And speaking of getting educated, we go to Brendan for that. So
just checking on Fubo TV again today, 2 days in a row here. FUBO, 14%, big pop here on volume through to 34. So recent highs here for Fubo TV. If you remember yesterday, we mentioned this one because they were added to this, where was it? I had it here, VIDAA Smart OS for smart TVs. So Fubo TV, a couple of upgrades today, but just catching a bid here, guys.
Definitely worth a look there. Let's maybe not spell that one out there, Brendan. It just feels like you're saying something naughty to us, my friend. Obviously, all jokes aside. I did add it to the Rite Aid position. Like I said, a little bit of confidence to it. I actually wanted 21 even as a price, so the fact that I was getting it on the north side of that, it's a little bit extra risk that you have. It's still the same stop at 2130, so not too much has actually changed with it. Either way, I think we can work back into as a target 2050, and then down to 20 even. So sort of a similar to what we were doing before on this particular name. I will go back to XSPA. Keep saying that the wrong way around here. Once we get through 165, I will start to take a few more shares off. Reiterate, the target is 150s. On this particular name. So I got some bids all the way out here. I still have a tiny bit left. So when the last one fills here at 158, just to make a judgment call at 150, 145 was yesterday's close. So if you're wondering where 150 comes from, just playing off of that level, guys.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. Yeah, look, that's the thing. When we're looking at some of these levels, guys, you got to make sure that you understand the way that you trade versus the way that we trade, and then pick off that, right? Because like I have an example here with NEO, like, I'm loading shares up here and then dumping them if they break. This was a way too premature dump there, but we got back in. And then, like, as we come up to the upside, like I am pretty bullish right now on NEO off of these levels. But because of the share size and things like that, I just kind of trying to like rinse and repeat a little bit, take some off here, and then put on real risk when we do start breaking some levels. I mean, these are all real risk spots here as well. So was this. I mean, it's just NEO right now is kind of just, consolidating down here. So we do have a nice little long now, 26 pennies in the money. And you want to talk about a nice long. I don't know if you guys have Palantir, but hells to the yeah, we're cooking up more profits on Palantir. And if you're going to take anything that I've said today and, make some money on, Palantir's been it, man. 26.50 was my go zone. That was right here. We battle that back again right now and then right back to the upside. So here we go, 38.39 penny winner here on Palantir and still rocking right back up to day's high. Like I said, we had our target up there. So now I think we can take a little piece off maybe, but still 27, man. Watch out for a 27 break. It's starting to ramp up. That's Palantir.
Yeah, and of course, Mara just tested that 10 even and comes back in. It's going to be hard to catch. If you want it on the way down, it's always a little harder than just jumping in front of the sword, which I did in Tesla and got cut. But if we're going to make another test of that 10 even, now that it's already failed once, certainly I can get back in on the way up because you're trying to put in a lower high. So I will try to get some shares here if I can. I don't want anything worse than 80. So I'll start at like 82s or so, but I'm not going to chase this below 980. It's just not going to happen. My stop on Wish now is going to be that new high of the day, 2220. So 222. If it breaks that, I'll give up on Wish. I wanted to be bearish on this name, and somehow the only winning trade I have on it is going to be a long. So go figure with Wish. And the only reason I had that was a live look at the level 2 and the pre-market and looking at that iceberg at 21.10. It had nothing to do with even being bullish on it. Just got in tomorrow. Going to work this position into 10 even. If it breaks that, we'll get out. It's more of a scalp trade, so I'll be definitely flat at VWAP where I would anticipate a bit of a bounce.
Okay, so yeah, you're still watching Neo here. I mean, a nice little trade. We're getting closer now to the end of the show. It doesn't mean anything because we're still looking for some winners. Look, if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. I did want to show you this because this is important to us. This is our watch list. We have thousands and thousands of subscribers right now. Roku, Laser, Neo. If you can drop the link in the chat there, please guys, sign up. It's absolutely free. It comes every day. Today I got mine at 8:11, not 11. 8:11. So, it's coming early. We're trying our best. We're working with our provider. So if you do miss on it, stay tuned because we are coming back with it as much as we can. But Roku, Laser, Upstart, Wish is right there. Neil just talking about it. PayPal on there, the blockchain stocks, everything like that. So, yeah, definitely sign up for that. And yeah, I hope your grandma's freed, man, because right now, thank you for the $20. Free my grandma.
What?
Guys, free this dude's grandma right now. I don't know if $20 is bail or what, but I'll chip in as well. Thank you. You love the channel. We love you. Let's just keep this going, guys.
Absolutely. And as quickly as I'm fading into that Mara and off of 10, I'm literally reversing into a scalp long trade into 10-10. So it is what it is that you play out those levels as you might. I got 102.5 is my price here on the north side of that. So we talk about 5 and 10 cent scalp trades. If I hadn't been thinking about this level here in the pre-market, which is 10.15, I probably would be looking to hold into the 10.40 range. But because that level is there, certainly I expect some resistance. That's why you can see, you know what, I got to zoom in so you can see a little bit better here. Just all the executions to get out. I'd want to be close to flat, maybe 10% left at most. If it does make a run at that high, because I see a level like that 10.15, I'm thinking to myself, if it fails there, I almost want to be jumping back into a short. So it is what it is. We said it before when Luis was on. It's more of a scalp trade where you're looking at 5, 10 cent wins. I'll go right back into that form. Mara's done 36 million shares. Of course, you guys know why it's been active today. And if you don't, well, you haven't been paying attention. You got to pay attention, guys.
Okay, here. Yeah, just typing away to our producer. Okay, as you guys can see there. Oh, there it is again. They're so beneficial to me. Thank you guys for everything you do. No, thank you. And again, guys, like if we can get maybe something, a Kickstarter going for his grandma, that'd be great. You can put that on there. So let's just hope that goes well for you. Okay, Neo, a nice, I mean, look at this, guys. We're just going to keep hitting the cash cow because, well, no, this is the electric vehicle. It's Neo. But these bottom picks now, bang, bang, bang. Like if I wasn't, this is the, I mean, look, we go long here, 44.10. You want to talk about, bringing your day back to life now. Like you go long 44.10. The only out I have lower than these longs right here is this one out. So, as you can see, nicely moved to the upside there. We did step on it a little bit because this long, and then there's a little long in there as well. But now right back to the upside. I'm taking more shares on this break of 50, just thinking Neil can go. And then honestly, man, if we break this VWAP, bang to the upside. So that may not happen until the end of the show, but I'm going to take this long trust in me right now. I'm taking that long if it goes. Oh, and by the way, you want to talk about something that's a cash cow? We'll hit it right now because Palantir, we're long in our own account, sub 10. Okay, now we hit this with you guys today and up 3.5%. Palantir sees 30 in the new year, no problem. You can see bang, bang, bang. All we're doing is longs. Purple is a short arrow. You didn't see no purples on this screen, guys. We're just going long on Palantir today. And again, like when these are your ins and you only have a few outs like this, yeah, we're riding this to the high side. I'm going to get out right now, Palantir, 26.95, something like that. We'll take a long if it breaks 27, but what a great trade that's turned out to be on Palantir. 50 cents right now, guys.
And somehow not still going up. Somehow going up again. WNW just made another $50 move upside. The second time it tests the top, I kind of figure it's unlikely to break it. We still have no locates on it, but I'm going to check in to see if we get them because, you know, this if it retests like 150, 165, there's definitely a trade in there, guys, that's worth having. I just finished saying over in MARA that I would get out of that 10 long very quickly because I wanted to see if it failed at 10.15 and just to show you here, guys, that level in the pre-market, if it failed at 10.15, I would roll into a quick little scalp short. I didn't get the short. But if it gets down to like 9.75 or so, the same thing that worked on the way down here, shorting off of VWAP, I want to work on the way possibly up on another squeeze to the high of day. So if it does retrace deep enough, I would play the long side there. Of course, you know, I did short scalp win, scalp lose. Short scalp lose, long win. So overall, the long is the thing that's worked for me on Mara and haven't lost on it yet. I want to pull back into like 975 if we can get it. So it's a little bit farther away here, but you want a plan of action, certainly. And if you had one here and were not missing out every single time it came up, you certainly would have made your money shorting it all morning. Now it feels like the opposite is going to be true and maybe even testing that 1040 pre-market high, guys.
Guys, I'm going to tweet this out because, I mean, this is kind of the stuff that, you know, I'm talking all about right now. And that's you, Shakib. Like, I can't say this any better. This is the whole point of the show and what I really do live for, guys, is this kind of stuff there. Where is it? Right here. Like, you learned me everything. 2 months ago, I didn't even know what a long or short was. Now you makes money daily. Thank you. Well, you know what, man? I mean, that's what it's all about. We're here to teach you guys, train you. Donkey Kong, I mean, there's another call that what we had was DraftKings. I hadn't even looked at it today, but we can call up DraftKings again. Neo, okay, so here's another thing. Neo does break 50. I said we'd go small long. It doesn't go, so we do get out of the majority of them. We're going to dump them if it comes back down 44.30, but we're over the moon with how Neo's been trading for us, so no problems there if this doesn't go. It doesn't really matter. But here's DKNG. We did take a shot at 50, so just letting you know, we got some out there 55 or so, but we'll wait on that one. Here's DraftKings NQ. Wow, $54. Like, this is why we treat ourselves to nice things sometimes, because we're long DraftKings 35. I think I sent the order to Greg the other day. It was 35.80 something that we're able to get long down here on DraftKings. Like, just pure luck, you know, of the draw. You could have got some at 40 as well on this break, but we're long DraftKings. It's broke above this 50 period, and now we're up here to 55. So I said take some off. I did. I took some off right around here, 47, 48 off of 35 long, but DraftKings still exploring to the upside. So anybody long with me on that one, congratulations. I do think it's probably time to get off of it. Rocket is another pick that I have to the long side. RKY, RKT. Y beside the T on the keyboard. So here we go. Rocket to the upside now. Today, not. It was upside, 23.50. It's come back down now. So get rid of that. Here's a nice 21. This is what we're talking about. We were positive at one point, but I still like Rocket to break out as well. Recent IPO with room to run, Brendo.
AIV, guys, we're going to talk about this one a little bit tomorrow, but just popping up here on a volume scanner as well. This is apartment investment coming out of the S&P 500 to make way for Mr. Tesla. So, yeah, back to the upside here. We just broke back above 450, which was down here on a volume spike. Trying to hold 450 for AIV. Not a huge range today, but worth kind of putting on a quote board maybe or on a separate chart just so you have it to watch for tomorrow, because this is the one coming out of the S&P to make room, as I mentioned, for Tesla, guys.
Yeah, and of course, like we've mentioned a few times, we have that video that is going to drop. I'm not going to hit the link one more time because someone just said, waiting for your call on Mara. I did just go over. I mean, I'm looking for a dip buy into VWAP here if I can catch it. There is that top break, which would have to happen. 15 hasn't gone yet. Certainly, if it does, I would have a look at that 10 1040 area, which is the current high of the day, and then I would look for maybe fade off of that. But my first idea here is to simply slide into a bit of a bounce play. Now you're getting the pull off from that 1015. If we get any consolidation, 60 to 65, I'm going to go in. Every trade in Mara today is going to be a scalp for like 4 or 5 cents or so. But watch out, there's a break going on in NXTD where I saw some monster order flow go through. I'm looking to fade this one off of that 150 level. That was actually one of the first levels I wrote down off of NXTD. So I got in a bit too early because I saw 135. But 150, a monster level, and there's lots of liquidity in NXTD, but it is making a run, and it was a great short the first time. This is a bit of a jailbreak at lunch, which when those fade, they can get rather nice. So Mara, 65 to 70, 150 level approaching on NXTD, next ID.
11:15, getting ready to close out the day, guys. And Neil said it, hit the nail right on the head there with some of the talk about, oh my God, wow, Palantir. I missed. Oh, I didn't know this broke, but I missed the, look at that. It must have broke and then went right upside. I only put in a 27.01. I thought I put in 27.05 there, but now up to 27.20. That's okay, guys, because if you did follow, I'll put my tweet out there. We did talk about this earlier on. You guys wanted that, the break on some of this stock there. We talked about 26.50 Palantir to the upside right there, but check the chat. We did have our watch list out earlier. You can sign up for the watch list, man. But Palantir, just a big move up. Look at that break right here. Again, doing too much here, but it doesn't matter. No excuse. We were long. Look at this break right there. Look at Palantir. I just said it's breaking 27, right? I mean, where's the rewind button? I have no idea. Either way, Superman is in the building on that break. We got out there. I thought I was going to reload long. We didn't put that order. It didn't fill, and so that's that. But we missed that 27.05 long. Damn it, that's a good opportunity. At least, who cares if I missed it? At least you guys hopefully got it. Watch out, it's fading back in. Remember that 27.25 level? Before I throw to Brendan, just real quick. Remember this level that I just gave you guys on that break? Where is that? 27, I mean, again, you can rewind it. 27.25, 27.23 right there. What is the high of the day? 27.23. So I gave you guys 27.23 in the morning at 8:30 a.m. I hope you join us tomorrow. Get some more winners. Mr. Wicken.
Days in a row, guys. We mentioned this one yesterday. Shopify again today, 4.2% again today, all-time highs. Again today, multiple upgrades on Shopify. So remember at the beginning of the week, we were talking about Amazon kind of trying to take over for Shopify in this space. But look at this thing, above 1,200 now in New York for Shopify, guys.
Unbelievable. It's like you get that news, and then for it to go that hard, that direction is absolutely amazing. We talked about the dip buy. I just said it a few seconds ago over there on Mara. It just bounced off 65. I ended up getting 74 here. That's not even a great price, to be honest with you. Certainly could be like a 68 or 69. And when you're trying to scalp 5-10 cents, yeah, it kind of matters that I had to pay up here to 74. So I really don't love it and will not be adding to the position because of that. Unless I get a much better entry price. I got to go back over to Rite Aid, which I realized I did not have not gone over ever since it held VWAP here. It did come back and test again. I didn't add to it, but until it gets down to 2050, I'm not going to take any more shares off. NXTD is trying to turn around here. I got 36. It's at 40 right now. I think 50 is going to be the big level, guys. Certainly, if it gets to that price and breaks through, it's going to be a bit crazy to try to hold through that one. But if it does, I still will take another shot on the south side of that 150 price. So Rite Aid, 2050, and then 20 even in the targets to the downside here. That one's working. Next is against us. XSPA still working. And Wish, I mean, it's not going anywhere right now. It's still holding that 22 level. If it flushes from here, that stock has all kinds of a chance to get to 20 even again today.
Oh, man. So we're out of our Neo there. We absorbed that hit. I mean, great job there. We're positive for the day. I probably won't take any more positions. We're just going to keep the record rolling here because I saw someone, we have rolling records or something on the chat. Oh, thank you so much for new member alert. Tony Litton, welcome to the club, man. You're joining, hopefully, an elite group. I love the chat. I think it's the best I've seen from any of these other services. I don't even know if they exist, but that's a good one. Wow, look at your Fubo, F-U-B-O, right now. Fubo going to the high side. I know we've talked about that. Neil's talked about it it. Brendan brought this to our attention, but wowzers, what a break that was at $30 earlier on, right here. I guess it was $30. I mean, this is the pre-market high right there. As soon as we crack that level, actually, I guess you can go back here. Actually, hold on a second. Let me just bring this back. The real pre-market, yeah, 31, sorry, not 30. I was looking at that 31 break there. That's the real pre-market high as we zoom back in and back over. So let's just move this back. Where is that 31 break? It's right here as we defended that area right off VWAP. Not only that, but it was also a $3 move from that right there. So yes, look, what a roller coaster day this has been for yours truly, guys. Over 300 fills today. So yeah, we need the hydration nation. But at the end of the day, some days we're up huge and you pay your mortgage, you pay your bills. Today we buy coffees with what we're up, but I'm completely happy with that. You know, we keep putting this in our back pocket. We'll be up more at the end of the day, but for right now, I don't really see a whole hell of a lot. We did miss that Palantir trade. That would have really skyrocketed us through the moon, but thank God we had the longs all day on Palantir, my #1 stock on that, and thank God we got rid of some Roku. We blew Roku up the top there, bang, 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 big trade. We had 6 shares left that dropped it down to there, so may show us negative. Look at Roku, though. This is why you got to get out when it goes parabolic a little bit. There, I said it to myself, so I'll drink. Hydration Nation's back in the building, guys.
That's my line. We're going to go back to Brendan for some news here, guys. But this OCG, yeah, this is low of the day, guys. 12 does break. I would be all over this one. It's easily the weakest of all the Chinese IPOs that recently came out. There's no question about it. It just broke the pre-market low. This is the one that seems like it wants to give literally everything back to 6, whereas WNW has some relative strength. But man, if you got locates on that one, that was probably as easy as it gets once the first halt came in. To you, Brendan. Ooh.
Not seeing any reaction here, but Walmart, guys, just saw a note that said Walmart's going to bring live stream shopping to TikTok on Friday. I don't know. There was also a little bit of earnings this morning. ACN, worth noting, 9% here today. You can see on the daily chart. Big time move. ACN beating earnings, reporting before market this morning, about to take out that high, or making a run at that high from this morning. 9% for Accenture.
Okay, I got to give a big shout out. Hold on a second, Neil. Quickly, Trader Joe, thank you so much. This show sponsored to you by Palantir. It seems like sponsored to you by Day Trade the World. And then Rolling Records, phenomenal calls and reads by Neil, Sean, and Brendan. Thank you so much. The only name spelled correctly there, notice, guys, Sean. It's not Neil and that's not Brendan. Neal, guys, and Brendan with an A at the end. So thank you so much for that. At least it wasn't SEAN there. Then you would have gone 0 for 3. But thank you so much, Rolling Records and everybody. And then also, did we say, oh yeah, we already said a shout out to Tony Linton there. But yeah, we're loving this. Thank you. Exactly. Rolling Records with the green heart from Valeria. Thank you so much, guys. We'll just continue to go. And there's Shakib again. Yes, drink. Yo, bro, drink tomorrow, a day where we got to be our sharpest tomorrow. You're damn right about that. And the Boom Squad. You guys want some booms? Here we go. Here's a big one for you today. Some big trades happened there today. And thank you so much for everybody joining. Let's keep going, guys. Bang it to the upside. We're back tomorrow, and I'm going to be real focused tomorrow, guys.
Great quote there, Martin Brockman. If you have one bucket that contains 2 gallons and another bucket that contains 7 gallons, how many buckets do you have? You know you got only 2. And that's the reality, guys. Look, I want to quickly go back over to, if I can, because this is NXTD. My day is going to definitely cloud on that one. It's about to test that 150. On the downside, there's a bid down here. You can't see it now at 140 for almost 500,000 shares. Someone was offering those levels when it bounced to the upside. So someone bidding on this stock. I don't put too much weight in that, but 150 was the level I'm working off of here. The only way I'm going to add in front of it is if I see any kind of a failure here, and obviously there's a bit of size, but I don't care about size on a level 2. When it's done 137 million shares, 200,000, 400,000, 500,000 is not what you're looking for. You want to see actual price action through. Most of the volume you can see in the level 2, this is coming off deep print. So that size there, those are lit orders. That's the actual market, guys. Dark pools are the vast majority of prints going through, so it's deceiving when you look at that size in the level 2. So I wouldn't trust it too much. I wouldn't ignore it either, but certainly that bid at 140, that doesn't concern me. The actual price action and amount of volume that occurs at the 150 level and at 151, that's what I'm actually concerned about as a short seller here, guys.
Look, my bad, Eggman. I saw you there here as we have 5 minutes left. Sean, you never greeted me to the family Welcome, my friend. You are now being greeted Egeman there. Thank you so much. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but there you go. You have been welcomed. If I did miss anybody else on there, just hit me up, guys, and we'll do that. But, I mean, to be honest with you, like this 2.5K likes, like what is up with that? Like we need to get more likes right now. 5,000 people watching, even though we only have 5 minutes left. Let's do this, man. 2.5K likes. We need more than that. Let's go, team. Let's get on that likes. Let's get that up to $3,000. We'll throw it back to Valeria, and she'll do a little dance for you on the screen. Not live in person, Valeria. Our 3K. I don't know, what is the 3K? I think we changed that because we didn't normally hit that, but let's go. Let's see if we can get that to 3K right now. We'll put you likes crew on that. Let's rally the troops and get that going. As Palantir, that $20, thank you so much for that. But I really hope that we made a lot more than that on Palantir today. And yeah, it just keeps going to the north side there. Good calls on that. We did tweet out 2650. Not only did we tweet it, but we gave it to you guys at 8:30 on the magic list there. As you can see, Microsoft 220, Airbnb 144, Neo didn't get to 46, but that was a great break on that one. Other than that, Roku 350, you saw me hit that. We haven't checked back in on Laser, but we can do that eventually at some point. We're getting close, man. We just bumped up our likes there like 30%. We're at almost at $3,000 right now. We're going to get that Neville. Thank you so much for the love, guys. And yeah, we'll just keep coming back, and hopefully this wheelbarrow turns into a tank full of cash at some point, guys.
Absolutely. And there is one thing we got to do. First things first, 150 gone and 160 here. So you get too stubborn. This is going to be a monster hit for you if you do hold on through that 150 level. But this NXTD, if it stalls out, I'm going right back into this. I've had this happen before, and certainly if it does not push to the next like 175, it goes back below 150. This would be a huge jailbreak downside. Time to get to Brendan, and look, there's one name on, there's not many when it comes to earnings, guys, but there's one name which is near and dear to my heart that you're going to see. Brendan?
Before we do that, $200 away here from that overnight high, guys, on Bitcoin. Now 11.25%. For Bitcoin, yeah, 23.8 and change it was overnight. So we'll see if that gets taken out or when. It's more a story of when, I think, at this point. But look at this move. It's just amazing for this. 11 and change percent today for Bitcoin. Yeah, let's have a look at what's coming up for earnings. Not a lot of names, but I mean, BlackBerry has that new deal with Amazon. So we'll see what happens. FedEx as well. 'Tis the season for shipping.
So I think that BlackBerry, you could probably put on some calls on BlackBerry, because the thing about that is, I mean, I know that it's a little bit, is it New? No, it's New York. I was going to say I look at it mainly in Toronto for my own personal account, but we're fading off here, and that's the thing. If you look at a longer term play on BlackBerry, like it stopped right here, 850. This is that Amazon news getting the bump, but look, you have support down here at 6. So again, let's check out, Brendan, if you can quickly, the shortable shares there. We'll have a look at that, because right now, BlackBerry, I just think that if they somehow can blow it out. Remember, the deal with Amazon, I guess, probably not hitting the books right now, but who knows what they're going to say. It could get squeezed if there is any kind of shortable shares out there for that name, guys.
BlackBerry has fantastic support at $8. Look, obviously a little biased. You guys know I'm rocking one of these, the bad boys. Probably not the last one, because they're apparently making a 5G that I can get my hands on, but a different company, of course, because they're not in the phone business anymore. And I think it's been a good pivot for them. This is a big contract. It has been rather muted lately, which is good going into earnings, I think. So any ramp off $8 is good, but keep in mind, tomorrow is a wild day. You are likely to see crazy price swings regardless of earnings, especially off of the open, where you will see massive imbalances on every single stock. And I will show it to you guys live. It's not a huge short interest in BlackBerry. It looks like it's 7%, but it doesn't always take too much to get these things going. Speaking of which, guys, if you do not check out this, whoops, that's the wrong one.
Talk about it.
I can talk about scalping. Yeah, we scalp all the time, guys. We have that video out for you guys to check out on the Market Wisdom channel. But the big event tomorrow is, of course, Tesla and the S&P 500. You know, you guys are very interested in this name and the others that are affected. Everything in the tech sector certainly is going to be in play because something this big going in, lots of names have to be adjusted, and we talk all about it.
Brennan getting some love too on the
My hero.
Walmart call. Thank you so much for that one. Doug A, thank you so much for that. But look at this. You guys want to call. I mean, hello, Neo. Oh, we have a bad wick there. But look where we're at right now, guys. Look at these longs earlier on. Like we took it. Now we're good, positive. We can buy more than coffees now. We talked about taking this on the VWAP break. We did. We took a hell of a lot of shares. Look at these defenses. Bang, bang, bang. In there again, and out. So a good couple outs there. Unfortunately, I can't. I got to edit the chart to get rid of that. But our best out there, 78 or 79 long on this 66 break. So there it is, man. We put Neo in our pipe, and we just smoked it to the long side. So good trade there on Neo. And yeah, man, the streak continues here for the positive days. Now, good time. I don't know, it's the 17th. We've had one red day in December. So here we go, guys. Big moves to the upside. And that red day doesn't come today either. So bang that one out. It's 11:30. Miss V, what you got on tap?
Thank you, Sean. And hey, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Guys, please, we need just 100 more likes to reach 3,000 of likes. So please support and smash the like button as we're here for you every day. We will see you tomorrow. And happy National Maple Syrup Day, everyone.
To the yeah.
I
you know
am
a story about maple syrup.
I'm a maple syrup fiend, which I think everybody should be, but I'm very, very lucky. I managed to marry into a maple syrup empire. No, kidding. My in-laws make their own maple syrup up north, and it is unbelievable. If you've never had the real thing, forget about that bottled nonsense. Get the real thing if you're ever here in Canada. I'll try to hook you up because I have an unlimited supply. Basically. You can put it in your coffee. It's actually fantastic that way. But it's past 11:30. Do not forget, you have the opportunity to check out both those videos, scalping, and importantly, Tesla into the S&P 500, 80 billion to buy. It's absolutely insane. For the entire team here, for Valeria in her Pew Pew Capital outfit, good look. For my man Sean Katina, well hydrated and looking good. And my man who somehow always has a good fresh haircut despite the lockdown, Mr. Brendan Wickens. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is tradertv.live. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.